And we're Gucci.
I was like, what the fuck was that? All right. So, welcome to the New Music Podcast with your two regular jackoffs from upstate New York. And we have two very special guests from a very clever and shit band. That's what they said. That's what they
my words.
Got permission out of his words. I am Kyle and my co-host.
My name is Patrick.
All right. So we have a lovely band, Party Cannon. We have these two special guys. How about you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah.
Cool. My name's Mike. I am overweight. I like music. This is Chris. He's not overweight. He likes music too.
That's in a nutshell.
I mean, he could be, but the sweater would hide it. You're
logo.
advertising it by wearing white.
Yeah.
He like overcompensates and I undercompensate.
It's the plan.
So, yin and
all
yang.
makes
That's why it's
sense
black
now.
and white.
Night and day.
Okay. So
Right.
what do you guys do for Party Cannon? Like, what do you?
I play
Who
guitar.
plays what?
Chris plays
Yeah.
bass. Chris also writes the majority of songs.
Oh, okay.
I love it when the bassist does most of the work.
Oh yeah. Okay. I need to write the songs, do all the driving, book all the gigs, deal with all the merchandise,
Shout at the most people.
shout at most people, fucking take no shit.
Pictures,
Yeah.
kissing babies.
Tell you, man.
No, I hate
Shit no
babies.
sense.
No, it does.
Oh my god. So speaking of merch, I want to go into your guys' merch.
Man.
So about your merch, it's oh my god, I don't know how to explain it. It's like I want some of them, to be completely honest, but it's just the cover art of the albums and your merch are completely different from what they actually are. You mind explaining that?
Are we in court?
Yeah, I mean, like, what you mean by completely different? Like, do you think?
I mean, there's obviously it's brutal. Like the one shirt that you guys have, a guy cut in half and it's just confetti, and then you have your newest album cover. It looks so demonic and like fucking not like funny gore-ish. It's just like straight like scary gore and shit like that. So that's why I was curious of like, oh, their merch is funny as shit and kind of gory. And then you look at their album covers like, oh shit, okay. That's a complete turnaround.
Okay, man. Okay. There been like a kind of cohesive thought pattern to that. Be like merch needs to be like contrasting the album or anything. Just kind of goes that way.
I think the way that worked out with the EP cover for Partied in Half and the album cover, Perverse Party Platter, sorry, can't talk, was just because essentially all the album covers and EP covers have been of band members. So the first one was Chris on the duct tape to a Flagpole EP, and then Jack.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Jack was the guitarist that I replaced. It was him that's on the cover of Partied in Half. It was his idea. It's actually Stoney the vocalist and Martin the drummer that are on the Perverse Party Platter album cover. I am mostly naked on the cover of the single for Soft White Gelatinous Body. Fitting. So,
Yes.
We impaled
Oh,
Craig
and-
with a bong for the album as well.
That's right.
That was good.
Fucking
That's
hospitalisation.
awesome.
Craig's got a
Yeah.
bong coming out his chest.
Yeah. There is
That's
like one.
fucking awesome. That was the one. It was it?
Yeah.
Aren't you cut in half on a shirt that's just confetti?
Yeah, that's our old guitar player. That's part of the
That's
half EP.
That's the one. That's the fucking shirt I want. I want that fucking shirt. I want that
That's
shirt.
the best thing that's ever happened to the band.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a stroke of genius. Like,
And I don't mean to get off topic. I don't mean to get off topic, but I
Go ahead.
switched the cameras so I can see you now. I can fully see you now. So we're good.
Hey!
We're all good. We're all good. Okay.
So I gotta ask though, like, was the original plan for the logo to be so different amongst the regular death metal scene, or was that just something that kind of became spur of the moment?
I think it was a spur of the moment thing, to be honest. Like, I think when we started this band, we didn't really have like a clear vision that would take off in the way it did. Not saying that we're like a huge band or anything, just we kind of expected just, something we did for fun. So we just kind of came up with a bunch of dumb ideas. Like, all our kind of stupid song titles and stuff came first. Then we kind of came up with a band name. Then went, oh, when I hear the name Party Can, I kind of imagine the kind of balloon logo. But I just kind of went with it. It wasn't like a calculated, this is going to stand out, this is going to be non-conformist in some way. It just kind of happened. Like,
That's the great thing about the bands in this genre is that it really rarely ever is.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally, man.
And it seems like the logo got you guys a little bit of like headway in 2015. There were a lot of articles put out about how different it was, and did that like have an effect on like how many fans you wound up receiving, or how you were received?
I don't really know. Like, it's really hard to kind of like gauge that. See, when it happened, when a whole kind of viral thing happened, we got 1,000 likes on Facebook overnight. I don't know how many of them are like legitimate death metal fans, but yeah, I don't think it's kind of improved things in a way. It's maybe like, you know, maybe people who wouldn't know about the band now know about the band. Like people who aren't in like death metal know who the band are. So it's kind of like, that's something. But before that even happened, we'd already toured America. We already had an album out and stuff. And since then, we've continued kind of just touring and doing what we were doing before. So it's not like that happened when we were handed like a bunch of money and then became like a major label band or anything. It just kind of we just kind of carried on the way we were going. To be honest,
Yeah.
We just kind of took it in a stride. Some weird things came from that though, right? There's now 3 universities in the UK that have our logo as part of their marketing and arts course. So a segment of their like, we just pull up the logo and be like, right, here's an example of good marketing. Good marketing.
No fucking way. That's awesome.
This guy,
I mean,
published...
that's fucking cool.
No, it's pretty cool. I mean, like, I guess it kind of cements a legacy in some way. Like, one day I came up with a stupid fucking logo and people remembered it. But yeah, there's a guy who does like a marketing book as well, and there's a chapter on the band. He's like, I found this band on the internet, and people talk about their logo, and they want to listen to the music because their logo looks different. That is marketing. I'm like, cool. You put more thought into that than I did, but I'm happy I'm happy.
Honestly,
I'm happy people are talking about it.
It reminds me a little bit of the Lamb of God thing, where people just think they hear the name Lamb of God and they don't expect a death metal band. They expect something more like gospel. Whereas with a name like like a name and a logo like Party Cannon, you're not expecting some straight.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
for sure. I've not had anyone turn up to the gigs who've said, I saw your logo and came to the gig and I hate it, which has been nice.
I don't think people... No, the way I see it is people don't book a band because of a logo, and people don't turn up to gigs or buy merch because of a logo. So, yeah, it's not like the logo is doing all the heavy lifting. It might get people to notice this a bit more, but there is like substance and stuff after. They were just like a joke band. They were like fizzled out by now, but yeah. It's not like
does help like you guys stand out on a page of other death metal bands. It's like, whoa, look at that one. I wonder what they sound like.
Yeah,
you know?
well, why are they so different? Like all that other shit. Yeah.
It is good definitely to stand out amongst this scene because it is hard to get noticed.
No, I agree. I can't deny that maybe people have given our music a chance because of the logo, but like I say, people don't like pay money because of a logo. Like people don't book your band because you have a logo. So
yeah. So I'm curious how the Asian tour went. How was that?
Oh, it was it had its ups and downs. But
diplomatic, Chris.
Yeah. It was very good though. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Like I did not expect it to go as well as it did. Like we played Thailand, and there was like 200 people in Thailand. People would turn up to me saying, "Seeing Party Cannon in Thailand is my dream come true." I was like, what the fuck? And they would come up to me like CDs, like all the Party Cannon CDs. Can you please sign this and stuff? Like I have no idea. I had no idea people in Thailand or Asia liked our music that much. Like sign away CDs. I've been waiting so long to see you guys. I've listened to you since 2013. I was like, oh, it's amazing. I always find it a bit like weird when people come up to me like, I've listened to your band for this long, but the fact that someone on the other side of the world in a place I know very little about, that as far as I know, we don't sell like. I personally don't sell like a huge amount of merch to. Come up to me like, I've got all your stuff. I waited here to see you. I know all your songs. Yeah, it was a bit surreal. But it was like that, like all over the place. I went to the Philippines. People were like, well, the band. Like people were printing out pictures of me from like the internet. Be like, can you sign this for me, please? It's like,
oh my god,
that's a bit strange.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we went to China. We played Beijing, and people like I did not know what to expect of China, because in the UK you get like a bunch of like weird propaganda about China. But I turned up, which is like a normal place, and people were like, "I've got all your CDs. Sign this, please. I've waited years to see you guys." Like, cool, that's awesome. So it was, blew my expectations. It was great. All the gigs were really well attended. Sold out merchandise. Gigs were wild. People made you go nuts. Everyone's very hospitable. Yeah, it was great. In fact, we toured with Waking the Cadaver as well. It was fucking awesome because I love that band. So that's
What
pretty
band?
good. Waking the Cadaver. You might remember them from MySpace.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yep.
of course I remember them. I just recently did a Nintendo Core version of their song "Chase Through the Woods by a Rapist."
Oh
I
man.
need to hear this.
Yes, I'll send you the SoundCloud link afterwards. But yeah,
Yeah, their bass
That-
player would love that, man.
that is a great feat for you guys to be able to tour with them because they are just so well known within
Oh, yeah.
grind music. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Was there any sort of like a language barrier with some of the people that attended these shows?
Maybe a little bit to a point, but since we're from Scotland, there's always a language barrier anywhere we go. So
Facts.
Yeah.
that's something we're used to.
We're very lucky that the drummer is Slovakian, speaks English, Slovakian, German, Italian.
Yeah.
So he
So
was like
he's
the
your-
band translator.
he's your translator. He was basically your translator.
More or less, like there's been
just
times
needed
when
to
we've been at
learn-
things that's happened.
He just
Yeah.
needed to learn Filipino and Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah, Japanese, Korean, Thai.
Yeah.
They're all good to go. Good to go. But yeah, it was awesome, man. Like, yeah, I never expected, like, we're from a really small place in Scotland called Dunfermline, and for a band from Dunfermline who plays such a niche genre of music to go to Asia and be so well received, that's like mind blowing to me. It's like, I couldn't believe that happened. But good, it's good to take off the bucket list. So,
So you're gonna be going again soon.
fucking hope so.
Well, Chris said to me a few years ago that his dream was to play Japan, and if that ever happened, he was putting his bass underneath his bed and quitting forever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold him to
Somehow I
that.
doubt that.
But
Somehow I
remember-
doubt that.
Well, we just booked an American tour, so I've got a few more things to do first.
Mhm.
So I'm
Are
just
you-
saying, if you come back, yeah, me and Pat were thinking the same shit. So
Go
if
ahead.
you guys come to United States again,
Mhm.
go to New York, Albany, New York, and we'll be there. We will be there.
We played
100%.
Long Island. We played New Hampshire and somewhere else in New York, or nearby at least. 2017. So we
A
weren't
lot of
far.
people are playing in Amityville, New York. There's
Yeah.
a pretty
Yeah,
good
yeah.
hall out there for that.
Did we not play Amityville? Was that on the tour, or did I get moved?
I
There's a
think that was
bunch
one of
of
the ones
fucking-
that didn't happen.
Yeah, there's a bunch
We
of that tour,
there's
man.
a pretty well-known venue here in Clifton Park. It's used to be called Northern Lights, but now it's called Upstate Concert Hall. A lot of
Oh.
bands used to come through and go there, but it seems like in the last couple of years, bands have not been going to that venue and
Yeah.
just been going everywhere around, so like to Buffalo or to like Long Island.
I think the more problem of that is because they don't want to deal with the crowds that come in, especially like the moshing and shit like that. They fucking hate moshing. They really do
Well-
hate moshing over there. But
Well, then they should
it's like
stop
the-
looking dubstep because
No,
people
looking at-
apparently mosh to dubstep.
oh yeah, I forgot
I
about
don't-
that.
I know the
Epileptic.
East Coast, yeah, the East Coast is really good for like everyone turns up does like spin kicks and stuff. That's like a big thing on the East Coast, isn't it? That kind of motion.
It's more
yeah.
crowd killing now. It's more
Oh,
crowd
dude.
killing, unfortunately.
Mm.
I mean, we're not big on the crowd killing. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but we're not big into crowd killing. We're really not. But
Yeah.
The way I see it is, if you're having fun, go have fun. Just don't fuck with anyone else.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just like don't try and hurt people. Like if you go to like a hardcore gig or a beatdown gig, it's kind of expected, but I don't think people are like doing it maliciously.
Yeah.
And if they are,
If you're
I think
going to these events, you should at least somewhat expect that,
yeah.
Yeah.
like that there is going to be something of a violent pit.
Especially
totally.
especially at a hardcore show, especially at like a hardcore beatdown show.
The more,
especially.
the
In the
more
same
down
token,
tempo,
right?
the worse it gets.
And
Yeah.
in the same token, you guys obviously don't have universal health care at the moment. The last thing you want is to go to a show and to leave with $100,000 bill because you've got a broken jaw or something.
Go
Fuck
right
that.
now. Go right now to GoFundMe and try to find how many mosh pit related injuries people are creating GoFundMe accounts for It's
seen that.
fucking amazing.
It's,
how
fun,
much
it's
is
funny you say that,
happening.
right? The band that I seen get the blame for it was Knocked Loose.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, that's a fact.
People just saying like every single time Knocked Loose play a show, there's like 4 or 5 GoFundMe's appear. This 6'9", 300-pound man punched me, and I am 4'6" female, and already in a wheelchair. I have
Where's
broken
the-
I'm
vertebra.
already in a wheelchair.
It's just that just seems to be how it goes.
But
Like,
yeah,
there's
the
no
worst
discrimination. Like you are getting wrecked if
Yeah.
you're near that pit.
No, that's a fact. Like, and that's the sad truth. Like, especially now in crowd killing, it's like they don't care if you're a female, a male, a fucking kid. You're getting your ass stomped. Like, it doesn't matter.
A toddler just being kicked violently across the room.
That's a
Get out of
fact.
the pin, bro!
Yes, the breakdown's coming. That baby's about to get it.
I can't
Like,
believe
what the
not
fuck?
have a reputation for GoFundMe's after the gig. That's fucking insane.
It really is, isn't it?
It's
fucking wild.
amazing. Like, honestly, my favorite crowd killing fucking story that I told on the podcast. It's
Oh,
one of
shit.
Pat's favorite fucking stories. I was at like I believe it was Mayhem Fest, the last ever Mayhem Fest that came to Saratoga, where
yeah.
we live. Mayhem Fest doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't. It hasn't been around for like 6 years now, 6 or 7 years now.
Mhm.
And I think it was like Whitechapel was on the stage at that moment, and this guy completely shirtless, big dude, big huge guy, and I'm near the mosh pit, and the guy just like just puts his hand on my shoulder. He goes, "Watch this."
That's fucking
Straight,
Already starts
Oh,
off
yeah.
perfectly.
he
a bad
goes
start there.
he finds the biggest guy that he can find, and he points at him. He goes, "You!" He's like, "What?" He like turns around. I swear to God, he spin kicks this guy so fucking hard, knocks him clean out, hit one hit in the jaw, drops him, and then fucking immediately turns away and he keeps going for like about a minute. Nobody goes near the guy. Everybody just clears the pit. Doesn't go near the guy that he dropped. He came back to me and he's like, "That's how you do it." Never saw him again. Never saw him again the rest
He
of the
went to
night.
jail
shit.
for manslaughter.
Holy fuck.
He in jail now.
That's insane.
Literally spin kicks the biggest fucking guy there. He's like, "That's how you do it." Walks away.
You know, search for his GoFundMe after that.
The man's dead.
yeah, he's like,
You got $5 from me, buddy. You got $5 from me.
$5 towards the headstone.
fucking hell. Yeah,
Oh my god,
crowd
that's
kill-
like 1/50th.
Yeah, as far as I know, the crowd killing in the UK is not quite that bad. It happens and stuff though, but as far as I can tell, people get crowd killed at a gig, then they'll just argue on Facebook or Twitter about it afterwards. But that's like the UK scene in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like there's definitely some truth to that. Like, if you bump into somebody at a metal show, they're probably gonna bitch about it on Twitter later.
Well, it depends on like the attitude when you get bumped. It's like, okay. Or if it's like, obvious, then it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Definitely
If you're at a gig, you need to let
situational.
things go, man. Like, if you get like a drink at a gig, it's using like fucking plastic cup and stuff. You're gonna expect it to maybe get spilled a bit if people
Mhm.
are moving around. You just fucking need to know what you're going into.
And that's why you drink it before you leave the bar.
Stand in the bar, you want to have a drink. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
We just need
Definitely
to, you know,
unwise to walk from the bar to the pit or anywhere near the pit with an open drink. It's just
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
asking for trouble to happen.
Just imagine a waiter with like a tray of champagne glasses
No.
thrown about the pit.
Just like,
Are you talking about Asking Alexandria right now? That sounds like some shit that would happen with a bigger band like that.
no, I've seen that.
It's a private event.
Bad.
This is a private event, sir. There will be no crowd killing.
He's fucking two-stepping to his fucking shit. Dude,
It's a skill, man. It's a fucking skill.
I would lose my shit. Who ordered the Budweiser?
We had shouted up in this bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, in a nutshell, gigs are fun. Is what we're trying to say.
Gigs are
Yeah.
fun.
They're pretty good.
Gigs are-
I like to go to
Support your
gigs.
local scene.
That's it. When you're talking about hardcore and like crowd killing and stuff. we had a really good experience the first time we were in the States, 2015. We played in Salinas, California, and it was a house show. So we were just in someone's back garden.
That
PA
sounds
system
so
drums.
perfect for you. That sounds
Oh, it was
Dude.
amazing. It was the best.
There's videos of it on YouTube, and it's fucking. See, watching it is pure nostalgia. It was amazing. Except, and I'll go into this maybe later if you want to know, me walking to the liquor store and no one telling me I was wearing the wrong gang colour in this neighbourhood, and I didn't know anything about it. And I had people like staring at me all the way there and back, and no one said anything at all. Anyway, we're playing this house show.
That's
Everybody
fucking
was-
scary.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, man.
I come back and someone's like, "Oh, you're really brave," and I'm like, "Why?" Like, you don't wear that colour in this town. And I was like, "Oh, thanks for letting me know." Before I went into the liquor store, hung around, and left.
That
Shut up, man.
reminds
Welcome
me
to
when,
America.
when I went
We'll
to
tell you after the
Brooklyn.
fact.
Yeah, that reminds me when I went to Brooklyn. that reminds me when I went to
Fuck.
fucking Brooklyn.
Mm.
Like it was so bad. Like you have to especially when you're white in Brooklyn. Like it's terrible to say, but I walked into the store and I had a leather jacket on, and the guy behind the counter is like acting completely suspicious and acted like I was gonna like steal something or fucking arrest him. I was like, what?
Sorry.
And I was like, yo, these people keep staring at me. And the one black girl that's with me, dude, you're white. You look like a cop. Like, what the fuck do you expect?
Oh, holy
It's
shit.
like, all right. It's like, all right.
I mean, the thing is like, I don't think Kyle looks like a cop at all. He's like, well, how
No.
tall are you? 5'6"?
I'm like
5'6"?
5'8", 5'9", with a fucking
Yeah.
man bun. What the fuck?
I nearly,
And you're,
I nearly,
you're skinny as
nearly
shit.
had to put,
So like,
and I nearly had to get a Full Metal Jacket coat in there. It was coming.
Metal jacket.
5'9". I know they stack shit that high. You trying to sneak in, trying to be private?
Yeah. Show me
Are
the
you a
war
Peter Puffer?
Show me- Yes. Show me your war face. Ah, that's not a war face. Bullshit. This is a war face. Ah, no, show me your war face.
I have a Joker. You're so funny you can go home and fuck my sister.
All right.
okay, if one of these winds up,
From Texas, boy, and you don't smell like shit or something like that.
if one of these winds up on one of your songs, I want you to just credit us. Just credit us. That's all I ask. Put us on the back of the CD. That's all I ask.
What's up?
That brings me to a question though. You guys put a lot of samples into your music. So what is the decision-making process like when it comes to deciding, you know, what sample winds up getting onto the song, and so on?
That's a good question, man.
I think the person who writes the song generally gets the final say, Chris.
Ooh.
No, it's fair because you know
That's
what?
true.
We all send samples to each other. Essentially, it's like there's probably more talk about samples than there are about songs at times, and we just send them to each other like, "This would be funny. This is funny as shit. This would be really good," and then they're just always there, kind of floating around.
Yeah, we've got like a big bank of samples we like that we're just going to use in songs. I don't think there's a real rhyme or reason. We just kind of hear a sample and go, "That's right. That's perfect."
Yes.
We don't want anything too obvious, but it's like kind of obviously funny if it makes sense. You just kind of like think about it, or just kind of
It's got to be like us, awkward.
yeah, it's kind of yeah. We just hear it like, yeah, that's definitely right. That's definitely right. Like we don't like as a rule, we don't really go for any kind of explicitly like, kind of mega sexual samples or anything like that, or anything from like porn or anything.
You say that, but we did the grapefruit.
Oh, you did that one. Yeah, that's a good point. You get what I mean? Like, it's kind of. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of. There's a certain vibe, but I can't really place a word on it. Like, there's a lot of kind of like British humor or B movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think it's just got to be stupid,
yeah, kinda,
more or less.
Yeah,
I
because they're
definitely feel
fucking
that.
great. They're fucking great.
They're the kind of samples that like take you out of the song just long enough so that when the music comes back, you're excited about it.
Oh man.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Definitely.
That's good feedback.
Yeah, yeah. It's like hearing something stupid and then all of a sudden you hear, boom,
Something
boom,
equally
boom.
stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid in a different
Now,
way.
There's definitely a surplus of bands like Operation Cunt Destroyer that go for the overtly sexual samples that they can find. Like one that was talking about how big a Tyrannosaurus
Sorry,
Rex's dick
It's just
is.
you're talking about since you're talking about OCD. There's like, hi Stuart, if you're listening, shout out to OCD. Yeah, right.
Yo.
They're like from like 10 minutes down the road from us.
No shit. No shit.
Yeah, we're like mates.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Most of
So
the guys
you
from
guys are gonna
OCD
come to the States together, is what you're saying?
OCD aren't a band anymore, man. They had
Split
like
up.
they had a
No,
big falling out.
that's
Yeah,
not-
yeah,
That's
Oh,
not fucking fair.
yeah.
That's not
Most-
fair.
Not to chat shit or start rumors or fuel the fire of.
This is a podcast.
Gossip.
You are encouraged to do that.
Okay. There's a lot of drama with their vocalist.
yeah,
A lot of drama.
they had some kind of falling out with their vocalist over something. Not really too sure what. But yeah, they're not a band anymore. But most of the guys play in a band called Aphotic now. So if you want to check them out, they're pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like more of a serious band though. So there's less samples of fucking
This is
penises
one of
and
those
shit
moments
and
where I
stuff.
ask you to repeat it, though. What was the name of the band?
Aphotic. APHOTIC.
Oh
I don't know
my
what
God.
it means.
Neither
And
do
they're
I.
a good band though. You get your little dictionary out. But
We do this all the time with bands. We're just like, okay, this we have no idea if we're even saying it right, but it sounds like it could be good.
or it's like, is this a real band? Like we used to do.
Oh my god.
Or like, yeah.
We used to do a game at the end of every episode. And it was just, is it a real band? You can
that's
imagine
kind of
there's.
similar what we do on long drives. We played the ectomy game where you take a random word and add ectomy to it and see if it sounds like a band.
Or try to think of the most normal word that could be a death metal band.
Words that don't sound like death metal, but kind of words that aren't death metal words that sound like death metal words, like
Viscosity.
viscosity or
Yeah.
inebriation or what's a good one? Disenfranchise, right? That doesn't. That's not a death metal word, but it could be a death metal band.
It would be like a political death metal band.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man. So
Trumpet.
I'm trying to understand the theme of the Porygon thing that's become with like the newer song and the newer shirt
Oh.
design. So
His
Oh,
fucking
boy.
face, he's
Fucking
like,
love
oh
each other right
shit.
oh
let's
boy, here we go.
Right.
He's charging up.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the Gen 1 Pokemon series when you're like
Yes.
Yeah, right. So
Of course.
in Japan, they basically the way the production schedule was, they kind of just pumped episodes out like every week. So there was very little quality control. So there meant to be an episode where Porygon, he blows up some rockets and there's some flashing, and some guy he just did a quick calculation on the computer and added it in, but it turned out the kind of flashing rate of colors that he put in was like a
Oh,
trigger for
yes.
a mass epilepsy thing.
So, everybody had a mass epileptic seizures.
Yeah.
So
The
I went to the
Airton's joke
hospital
about
for
it.
it.
Yeah, like there's
Holy
So the-
shit.
You can actually find it on YouTube, Pat.
Yeah,
if you
man,
really
yeah.
want to watch it.
so the aired in
Honestly,
Japan, right?
this reminds me of a creepypasta, but go ahead.
Yeah. So they aired it in Japan. And, over 700 people had seizures, but it was a very specific type of seizure. Like, it never had it again. So quite a lot of people had like entered this kind of like lifelong study system just to see if their brain ever recovered. They had like results of people's brains literally changing shape from watching this episode of Pokemon. And there's people who like never ever had epilepsy before, had like a really bad seizure as one time from watching this episode, fine for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they nearly cancelled Pokemon and stuff. So if you go online, you can find like an episode. It's like disclaimer thing. This is Japanese
Yeah.
lady giving us like a really long speech, being like, "Don't worry, Pokemon's going nowhere. We're really sorry for giving all your children seizures and stuff." I'm like, this is fucking mental. This is insanity.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like epilepsy is not funny. I know people who have epilepsy and stuff, but I just feel the concept of a fucking cartoon inadvertently giving 700 people seizures is like a really party canon concept. It's like something so innocent that just meant to be fun. They just fucked it, like absolutely fucking ruined it. So Porygon was written out of every Pokemon episodes concurrently after that. From there on, they were never allowed to talk about Porygon ever again.
It's funny
the episode
because
was called-
there's always been like this like whole mystery around the Porygon Pokemon, and so like you don't really see like Deoxys and like some of the bigger legendaries have much more thought put
Yeah.
into it than a Pokemon like Porygon.
I thought Porygon's pretty cool. Like I think his lore is he's like man-made. He's like a cybernetic Pokemon or something.
Yeah, it's oh my god, it's like a psychic Pokemon or a
He's the
fucking
Terminator.
well, yeah.
He's a Terminator.
See?
Like
Living tissue of
epileptic
enter skin.
Pokemon. Yeah, man. Like
Let me make you get seizures.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend for a while were rewatching like all the old Pokemon episodes. So I just kind of started googling it. Like I always go down a rabbit hole on anything I watch, and this came up, and I just started reading about it. It's like this is fucking crazy. I had no idea it was this mental, like this insane that caused this much problem.
Yeah.
Just things like that, just like pop culture things that go fucking mental. I'm just like so into. I think that needs to be a song title. I just think Electric Soldier Porygon is kind of vague enough that it doesn't really like say seizure in song title or anything. But if you look it up, there's like more meaning to it. So people look up, oh fuck, it doesn't sound brutal, but when you look into it, it's insanely brutal because all those kids could have died.
So many
Yeah.
layers. I love it.
That
Yeah,
sounds
exactly.
like that sounds like that one. Is it a real band, Pat? About the Twin Tower band about 9/11.
Oh, you're talking about
What the fuck was it?
ah,
It was
the band
fucking-
was called World Trade Center, right?
yeah, the
No
World
way.
Trade Center.
No
Yes.
way there was a band
It
called
was-
World Trade Center.
Yes, it was. It was.
Yeah.
You can look it up. They're about.
It's like an EDM. It's like a 2-person project
Yeah.
that does
It's
something kind of like E EDM.
it's basically about 9/11. But it's like, well, yes, it is. It's literally
Go ahead.
about 9/11, but it's like bringing
you're
everybody
describing this-
together.
It's just like 9/11, the EDM musical, and I think that's a really dangerous
Yeah.
fucking concept.
That's
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Well, when we first thought of it, because we didn't know the meaning of the band, so as soon as
No,
as
the
soon
band
as
is the band is called I Am the World Trade Center.
oh, I am the World Trade Center. Okay,
Okay.
331 monthly listens.
on Spotify.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Making
literally
that
about
bad money.
I guess
yeah, it's a
mean-
memorial for 9/11. But if you don't know the band's, meaning for the
Mhm.
band, it sounds the song titles are fucking atrocious. Like it says one of them's 9/11. The other one, fucking read some names, Pat. I can't remember.
I'm
because
trying to
some-
find them.
'cause you can't, like you can't make this shit up. I was like, we were going.
They have a
crazy.
song called September.
Yeah, well, about
Right.
September. There's like a couple other songs that sound like terrible.
Holy man. But like you're saying, I guess there's like layers to that. Like you said, it's like a tribute in a way, but it's also
Yeah,
kind of
it's like it's a
like, shoot
memorial
you
for
down.
what?
yeah,
Yeah, shoot you
Shoot
down
You
was
Down.
one of them.
right. That's fucking.
Poor
Yeah,
choice.
Take
I
the
think.
heat.
I can see you.
What's that?
Can't take
Can't
the heat.
take the heat.
Oh, God, man. it's
Mission statement.
fucking mental. Like,
Mission statement came out in 2004. That's definitely after the fact.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like 3 years after, but still, if you don't
Right.
know the
There's
meaning of the band, it's like fucking terrible.
They have
holy man.
an album that came out in 2004 called The Cover Up. Like,
Right. See, wow. I
I'm
guess
just gonna
like you
go
said,
through all the song titles
Yeah.
on this album. Are you ready for this?
Go on.
Let's
First one is
Right.
No Expectations, Great Escape, Future Sightings, Love Tragedy, Follow Me, Deny Me, Going Underground, Different Stories, His and Hers, The Cover Up, Silent Film Stars, and Rocket.
The cover up is definitely bad.
The Cover Up
That
is
one's
just like
a-
a giant.
Yeah, that one's about it. I get what you mean, how it's kind of layered and it's kind of not too obvious. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's got a different meaning to it, but I would not do that.
No.
but
Oh no!
personally, me,
I have
I
no
would not be.
intention of shooting myself in
yeah.
the foot like that.
Yeah, I do
No.
not have the balls to do something like that.
I mean,
Like-
we're fucking terrible people, me and Pat, but we're not that bad. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah,
We're
totally,
not
man.
that
That's like,
bad.
that's fucking,
Like-
that's insane, man. But I mean, I guess it's like art. At the end of the day, you have to kind of push boundaries. Or with not boundaries, I'd be pushing. like,
Yeah.
like people
We all
can have
know that Bush did 9/11, so I'm not. We all know he did it, but that's
It was
besides the point.
specifically Bush.
It was specifically
me-
George.
Don't make
Just-
me. I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
Just him. No one else. Single-handedly.
Totally.
Just one man.
George MacGyver Bush.
Fucking hell.
The best one man
Gotta stay, like-
band.
Yeah,
One
honestly,
man
9/11's like really bad. We don't think that's like funny or anything, but fuck, man, that's insane. That's like madness.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So you have a new album that you're working on, right? Or is it a split EP with 4 bands?
We just released a split EP with 4 bands: Parasitic Ejaculation, Gorbet, and Bloodstripe.
Beautiful.
That came out. But we're
I love
finally
the names.
Parasitic Ejaculation.
I love the name.
Yeah, it's great, man. I can't really work out what it means though. Like we've been on tour with that band twice, and each time we've talked to them in depth about what does it actually mean, and every time you get like a different answer.
You can't.
Like we don't really know. We just gotta put the words together. But it worked. It's weird, right? People seem to find the word ejaculation really offensive, but think of all the other bands out there. Like, I've got a T-shirt that just says like torso fuck on it, but I feel it's less offensive
Great
than
band.
the word ejaculation. So I don't know why.
Because
Torso fuck is more acceptable than ejaculation.
Yeah, totally. Man. Like if you had a T-shirt
Yeah.
that says torso fuck, I'm sure more people would kick off if you had a T-shirt that said ejaculation on it. I guess it's more relatable. Torso fuck's kind of abstract. It's weird, right? No,
I
think about it.
don't know if I can say that.
I mean, there's bands out there like Scumfuck. There's
Yeah.
bands out there that just literally push the boundary. Like
Infant Annihilator, for instance.
what
Like,
Duncan Bentley, he's in Volvodnia, but he has this other project that's like
Oh, is that like-
XAVLEG,
Yeah.
and it just keeps fucking going.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
played
oh,
with those
that
guys at
fucking
Death.
man.
The
Yeah, we played with
42
Manchester as
word
well.
long band name,
Yeah,
and it's just like people just have to push the boundaries. Seriously,
totally, man.
it can't be
Alright.
as simple as Whitechapel or Oceano.
And there's a band 55 Gore as well, which is like 55 words, and the logo's like that long. But
Yeah.
they just call themselves 55 Gore because I think the first word is Gore in the band. But
So,
yeah,
who knows?
fucking madness. But yeah,
Too
so
much effort.
second album next year, finally gonna do it. Our first album came out in 2015. Then we had like an EP. Then we had the split that just came out. But learning songs and writing songs in this band is like a fucking time-consuming process. I don't know why. It just always takes fucking ages. But next year we're finally gonna finally have a second album.
We're going to kick its dick off.
Yeah.
2020 is the year to do it, man. Everybody dropped albums this year.
Yeah. So.
Fucking posers.
2020 is right.
Fucking
They just couldn't wait.
posers.
They just couldn't wait till 2020.
But no, that's a good point. I think like quite a lot of big band like Devourment and fucking Distant Tomb and stuff put out albums this year. So I think next year,
Suffocation. Hate Eternal.
I think Suffocation was.
Suffocation has
year?
been broken up for a long time, haven't they?
No, they got
No.
back there. They got back there in like fucking 2000 and
Oh well, it's not Ricky Hoover, so I didn't know.
yeah. But yeah, they've been back. They've had a few albums since they reformed. But yeah, so next year I don't think there's gonna be as many bands putting out albums. So you're probably right. It's probably a good time to do it.
Honestly, I think the only band that really should do a 2020 album is fucking Hunt the Dinosaurs, to be completely honest.
Oh yeah, it's Bryce's band, isn't it? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are
Good
fucking
kid, dude.
dirty. I love it.
yeah it's cool, man.
It's definitely unique.
Yeah.
I
They're
don't care whether you
really
like it or you hate it. There's not really anyone else that sounds like them. I think the
Oh,
closest
yeah.
band I would think that sounds like them is Hacktivist, and they don't sound anything like them. The only thing is they've got heavy guitars and rapping. That's like the
Yeah.
only comparable point.
I mean, obviously Attila has to be thrown into that, but Attila
Yeah,
does like a
but-
completely, it's like own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so
Well, the reason why I said Hunt the Dinosaurs is because of their album Dankosaurus and shit like that.
yeah,
Fucking-
I'm like still trying to figure out what all that means. I'm like, obviously there's like overt like cannabis references.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
What the fuck is with all the dinosaur references? I'm still trying to figure that shit out.
We're
I
just,
don't
Dude, you
know.
like dinosaurs, man. Maybe one of them's a paleontologist in his spare time.
I think he just gets really high and thinks, shit, Diplodocuses are fucking cool.
fucking dinosaurs are fucking dope, dude.
Exactly, that's it.
Ceratops are tight, man.
Especially since the one song on the album was Couch Lock, and it's literally about him smoking weed. It was like, I'm all about that hydro. I'm all about that. Or no, it's like, I got a little bit of that good weed. Yeah.
Wait, is it what's it called? Couch
I'm
lock?
never gonna get up.
Yeah, it's Couch Lock or Lock.
Does that mean like getting so high you're stuck to the couch?
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
fucking
it's literally
excellent. It's like,
I
Yeah.
don't
It's
I
like,
definitely
and
been
it's
there my
literally
fair
him.
share of
The
times.
music video was even better. The music video was even better. he put out a music video of it, and it's him just smoking weed on a couch, and that's it. That's literally it.
Good video.
It was probably more low budget than the fucking Brain Stew music video by Green Day. I think they only spent like a couple $100 on that video. But this guy probably just filmed it with his iPhone.
Yeah, what did they do? Used to be a band from the UK. I think they're from the UK called Fuck Shovel. That's fuck.
Even he couldn't take that. He couldn't even take that.
So the music video was just this like it's just this like really like this really big guy in like a kind of like string vest. He's eating like a bowl of ravioli, and it's just him eating ravioli for like 3 minutes. But like halfway through the video, he just kind of pours it on himself, and it's just like a single shot. This guy eating ravioli. Mess, and the song's just playing. It must have cost him pennies.
The Horse
Pennies
Bastard
to-
video was fantastic as well.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
It's a really good one. You had a band called Horse Bastard,
Horse Bass. I've never heard of that band.
right band from England, Leeds, Manchester,
Yeah, Leeds, I think.
that area anyway.
Oh, Liverpool. That was Liverpool. Fuck,
Was it Liverpool? Sorry. But they've got a video, and the music video is essentially someone waking up in bed and then being chased by someone with a horse mask, as if it's like a nightmare. Yeah.
Feels like an episode of BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, it's a bit
Could
like.
be.
It's a bit different.
Fuck, dude. Like, they have their Horse Bastard, and Kyle, we have Goat Whore.
Facts.
Horse band. Oh,
Horse the band. That's true.
yeah.
Goat
Oh,
Whore is a great band. That was one of the first bands I ever played a show with. They're fucking
Yeah,
sick.
my old band supported Goat Whore a bunch of times as well, like way back in the day. Cool, yeah, it's a good band.
Absolutely. They scared the shit out of me, though.
What
I
all
was
the
like
guns and stuff?
I was like 16, and I thought I was cool by playing post-hardcore shit. So I was like sounding like Bless the Fall, opening up for a band like Goat Whore.
Yeah,
And I
that's a weird
didn't see it
focus,
coming. Like, everybody does this in the pit, and they're like, you know, kicking their feet, like, and I've never seen any shit like this before. But
That's
like,
amazing. I've never even heard of this band. Oh wait, yeah, I have. I just said I have, dumbass.
But-
But I've never seen them like in the pit doing that shit.
nothing is as shocking as seeing a little kid do that. I kid you not, a 4-year-old kid with like the kind of headphones that are like obviously for protecting his ears.
For construction and shit like that, yeah.
Yeah, just running around in the pit. That shit would never happen these days.
No,
That
no,
That kid
absolutely
would have gotten crowd killed.
Kick in the
We were
ceiling,
just
man.
talking about it. That kid's getting drop kicked at the breakdown.
That's the secret level.
Yeah.
You need to unlock that. 50 women to unlock the special level of kicking a child.
Fuck, man.
Level up.
Oh, man.
Show me
I
your
can't
move.
get into that. I
Well,
can't get
gigs-
into that game.
Well, the gigs I've played in America have been like way more lax than like UK gigs. In UK, like you can only go to a gig if you're like 14 or 16. But I've played gigs in America. I've just been in the middle of nowhere in like a shed, and just like kids and stuff there, like people that
Yep.
are like fucking family.
Yep.
It's just cool. It's a totally different vibe. But I was like, that wouldn't happen in the UK. Like, I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's like a bad thing or anything. I'm just saying it was like different to see. Like,
Yeah.
the
That
idea
would
of,
be
a
like some
4-year-old in a pit.
hostile level shit.
Yeah. So
I
now,
played
oh, go continue.
That's it. I played a place in, is it called Ceres in California? It's a place called like the Workshop. I think it's shut down now, but it's literally just like a garage somewhere, and people just like piled in. There's like no age restriction or anything like that. It was awesome. Like people just brought their own beer, and it was like
Yeah.
a really dodgy ice cream truck and stuff. It was like a cool like community
I
vibe.
say that there's bars like that in downtown Albany.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like that.
Oh really?
But-
That's really awesome.
I don't understand it. It's the whole appreciation for American industrialism. I don't
Yeah.
get it, but
Yeah.
you know, it's a thing.
It's
What
like
were
the
you get-
fuse box. It was like the fuse box.
fuck fuck the fuse box. That's a hole in the wall.
yeah.
With the
Fucking,
stage.
yeah. It's fuse box is literally like a bar, and then you walk behind the bar, and then the fucking you see the floor, and it's like you know where the pit is
It's like
because
some neon
it's
painted shit.
yeah, it's a bunch of like graffiti shit that looks beautiful, and then you know where the pit is because it's checkerboard.
Oh really?
That's the
Okay.
pit. That's the pit, and
That's in the chains?
it's literally like a 4x4 room. Like that's it.
Cool vibe though, man.
Honestly, I think it's about the size of my bedroom.
Yeah, honestly.
And
That
like
would
I
be
have,
good.
yeah.
I like
We-
that kind of shit. We've played a
yeah.
lot of shows where it's been super small, and we've played quite a few big gigs as well. Been lucky enough to be on a few decent festivals, but there's something special about a small venue
Oh yeah,
and just a
everybody
couple of
says
people who are
that.
interested.
Everybody says that. It's like,
It's
Like,
way
everybody says
more
that.
intimate.
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
There's a different vibe. Like big gigs are cool, small gigs are cool in their own way. But yeah, when you play like a small venue, it's like packed in. It's like more energy, more of a vibe.
hmm
yeah.
There's a venue in Glasgow called the 13th Note, and almost every gig I've been to, people have been crowd surfed, but it's a really low ceiling, so basically people just get smushed onto the ceiling, like all the time.
So there's no crowd surfing at all.
Oh no, it
Not
still
really.
happens. It still happens. There's like holes in the roof and stuff for people
Yeah.
in crowd surfing too. But
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
What the fuck?
We played in a pub, like an old English pub in York called the Spread Eagle, and it was the most
That
like,
is
That is the
amazing.
best
so haggard,
name.
but Jesus fuck, it was such a good gig. It was just people being mental in a pub, just like crowd surfing again, but it was like this tiny, almost like a function room, like the kind of place you would expect like a small birthday party or a christening to be in, and it was just insane.
That reminds me of that
Yo.
fucking post, Pat. That reminds me of that post of a band that played in a fucking Denny's, like a little
Yeah.
fucking.
yeah, I saw a video, man. The guy's like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck's up,
What
Denny's?"
the fuck
It's
is
Portals, isn't it?
The
Denny's?
portals in
I'm
it.
sure that's James McHenry's band.
I'm not sure what
So-
band it was. I can't remember.
I have no idea what fucking band it was,
I
but I,
just
all I know.
Just loved it.
Cool
Just,
video,
what
though.
the fuck's up, Denny's?
I need
What's
to
called for your
see.
breakfast?
Yeah, that's what's cool about America.
You
though,
asked
is all
for a
these
grand
gigs have-
slam, not a grand slam.
That's what's cool about America, though, man. Like
Watch
gigs
the
happen in
tip
different
of
places.
fucking
That was
waitress.
like having. Like you could not do something like that in the UK. Like
No.
you could not like hire out like a fucking Starbucks and play a gig there or something. But you can do it in America.
Honestly,
That's awesome.
It's pretty weird for America. It's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
weird
honestly-
for America.
You don't see that very often.
No, that manager must have just been like cool as shit. Or it
Yeah.
must have been like the manager's son who had a band was like, "Dad, we're gonna play our music in your store today." Like, okay, sure.
Yourself out.
Hey Dad, want to smoke some weed?
Yeah. Literally. Literally the
And
United
he's
States.
and he's not couch locked. He's desk locked.
Yes. Yeah, whatever you want, son. Here's the keys.
Hey.
Don't get too fucked up,
So-
my boy.
So I really want to see a music video with you guys playing in kind of like a children's like amusement area, kind of like
Kinda like a
anywhere that
birthday
would have
party.
a ball pit.
That'd be
Anywhere that would have a
allowed.
ball pit.
ball
He's on
pit.
register.
Yeah.
That's I'm sorry. When I see the logo for that, the first thing I think is like a full blown mosh pit, but in a ball pit.
Totally, man. I get that. We've had lots of discussion about music videos and stuff, but I think if we do one, we need to do one that people don't expect. So,
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I want to like be one step
Yeah.
ahead of everyone else. I want
But we're just saying, if you make a video, make it like kind of like a kid's birthday party with a ball pit.
I mean,
And
that
then
is
the kids
literally
go
taking
crazy.
the idea from Lamb of God just without the ball
Yeah, I
pit.
was just thinking like I've seen that.
That
Right,
Like,
is-
okay.
just hire a bunch of kids. Be like, all right, I want you to play in this ball pit, and I just want you to push each other for the whole length of the video. That's
just-
it.
Just go to the toddler farm and be like, "Hello, I'd like 1,800 kids to attend this video, please."
Toddler farm.
I can picture the phone call.
Like, sure, man, we've got that. We just got those handy.
Welcome to the kids ranch.
You just go to a local orphanage. All right, I need these kids. I need these kids.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are just as detached as we are.
I didn't have a father, so let's just continue.
Fuck, man.
Continue.
Well, that's a deep insight there, man. But yeah.
Damn.
Eventually,
My
Just
father
throw
was
the
a
labels.
drunk and a cokehead. It's one of the two. A cokehead and a drunk. That's all he was.
awesome, man. Great.
All he knew how to do was fucking drink, snort coke, hit my mother, and then fuck other bitches. That's all he knew how to do, and not take care of his kids. That's about it.
Nailed it.
Sorry to hear that, man. That's no good. That's no good.
Yeah,
What
it's
is,
terrible. I am.
Seems like a nice guy though. It's okay.
I try.
Oh no, he's good. He learned what not to be by watching Dad.
Pretty much.
It's good.
I learned it from you.
I learned it from you, Dad. Where'd you learn how to snort coke and beat women? I learned it from you, Dad.
Wow.
That's about as dark as our
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, I don't know what to say to that, man. It's like,
When you said before we started recording that this conversation's just going to flow and it'll go somewhere and we don't know where, I didn't expect to go.
yeah, it's like,
So
we
quick.
fucking warned you, man. This is why we asked you in the beginning.
Yeah, we warned you.
Shit.
there you go,
So
Mike.
that's-
Mike's like a stepdad, so I guess that's advice to you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take coke and hit your partner. I'm sure you knew that already, but
So we're starting an advice column featuring Party Cannon. The first bit of advice is don't do coke and hit your partner.
What to do?
yeah, that's
really
like
important
pretty.
shit.
That's like pretty vague advice. Like, I remember, like,
that's pretty fun. That's advice. That's the first advice you could do. Like the best advice you can. Don't do coke. Don't hit your significant other. There you go.
I remember I saw some band, like a hardcore band, one time, and they're like, he made some speech about how he hated like pedophiles and stuff like that. It's like, it's not wrong, but it's such like a vague statement that like everyone kind of already agreed with it. So like, why
pretty
bother
much
saying
like-
it?
Yeah, it's pretty much like we have up here in New York. It's like kill your local heroin dealer. Okay, it's terrible to say, but you're not wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess like people already don't like heroin dealers. So I mean,
How about the people buying heroin? I'm sure they like them.
oh, you don't know the
Well-
dynamic there. That's like quite.
Well,
I know.
yeah.
Well,
I
the-
mean,
mean,
let's think
yeah.
about the
Well-
people who are buying heroin.
well,
So
first of all,
those
the
people
heroin.
clearly need some help.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the heroin dealers technically the way heroin is pretty much made or sold. There's a tester, and then the first there's a dealer, and then there's a tester, and then there's the people that buy it. The tester is pretty much he gets heroin for free, but he has to test how hard the drug is. So if he dies, they have to
Oh well.
go to a next test. Yeah, go to the next tester. They get free heroin, so
Well,
it doesn't.
I don't know how bad it is for you guys. Heroin is very bad in Scotland. We've
Oh,
quite
no,
a
I know.
lot of drug deaths.
I actually watched a documentary on you guys for heroin. I've actually watched that, and it's actually pretty interesting. I can't remember what it's called, but I actually had a person that I graduated with die of heroin overdose. So
Oh, sorry to hear
Like
that. Man.
heroin. I don't like heroin at all.
No.
Heroin's
No.
not my
I mean,
friend.
on the bright side, though, as far as I know, the heroin epidemic in Scotland is nowhere near as bad as it used to be. I think the government's kind of put things in place. So if you have a drug problem in Scotland, you can get help and they will help you off it.
They're trying.
But
So you're
Scotland's quite
treated
small.
like a patient and not like a criminal,
An animal.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. See,
It should be.
Yeah.
I've
Scotland's
heard-
quite a small place in comparison to other places, so I can understand why it maybe works here and other places it's kind of more difficult to implement. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Because
Scotland's very good for that those kind of things.
because
have
I've also
you-
different like heroin stuff. Like speaking of heroin, but quitting cigarettes is like quitting heroin. It's like almost the same exact thing, but obviously it's different. But it's like as hard as quitting heroin when you're quitting cigarettes. That's pretty much how they pretty much described quitting cigarettes is. It's like it's pretty much just picture you doing heroin, but completely different. But that addiction is still the same thing.
That
I
is
know it's
the most
stupid.
beautiful thing you've ever
Yeah.
said, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's just imagine that for a second.
So poetic.
it's true though. It's true though. It's like it's the same as quitting heroin. Like it's that bad.
I
Like
guess
it's
it's
that,
like the
Alright.
same.
Yeah.
I guess the same receptors in your brain and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it gives you maybe. I'm going to go out on a limb and say taking heroin is a bit stronger than smoking a cigarette.
yeah,
But,
just a little
yeah.
bit, just a teensy bit, just
A little
Yeah.
less manageable.
Just to go back to my point before, sorry, what I was going to say is you guys are talking about how there is dealers, buyers, and the testers in between. Generally speaking, what happens in Scotland is if someone dies from it, that's the heroin that everyone wants because they're chasing the highest high they can get. And recently we have had a lot of heroin and cocaine actually spiked with fentanyl.
Ooh.
So
Oh,
people
yeah, I
are
have
taking
been
like
hearing about that.
fentanyl's like the scariest fucking substance I've ever heard of.
yeah.
Like morphine times 1,000, so super potent that it just kills you. So there's a lot of that going about and a lot of the street drugs. And
Well,
to what I
also, don't you guys have like crocodile over there? It's like heroin.
No, that's like Russia.
Russian zombie smack.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that
like a
was-
song.
We had a song
That
on
was a great song by you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
I was just gonna mention
Yeah.
that.
Do you know what that is, Pat? Crocodile? Do you know what that
I
is?
fucking wrote a song about it. Of course I know what it is.
Okay, I didn't. Okay, so
No,
both you written
yeah.
songs.
No,
Okay.
hear me out. Back when I was in Dead on Sight, we had a song called Lavender Town, which brings us back to Pokemon, of course. About the
Yeah, I was about to say.
creepypasta about Lavender
killing
Town.
himself.
But we also did a song called Bath Salts. We were gonna do a Bath Salts 2.0, which was gonna be Crocodile.
Oh, right. There's a
Oh.
band from Glasgow called The Color Pink Is Gay that had. So that band's called The Color Pink Is Gay.
I love
They
that.
they had like a 20-minute concept like song. It was like first 10 minutes was like all like math core and stuff. It was like mental. Then the second half was like all kind of like post rock and spacey. It was like awesome. It was like 2 sides of the tape. But the whole concept was that is it Rudy Eugene, the guy that took bath salts and like killed a guy? The whole concept was just about bath salts and like how people get bath salts and how that guy went mental and
There's
stuff.
some fucked up shit.
It's a very intense concept.
I watched a documentary about crocodile, and they were saying that
Yeah,
It's
so
not-
did
it's
I.
it's not necessarily the actual drug that's so bad for you, but the fact that people who are taking it, once it loses its potency, they mix it with eye drops,
Yeah.
which dehydrates your body, and that's why their skin goes all wrinkly and like scaly and shit, because essentially they're just completely dehydrating themselves from the outside, from the inside out, and they just start rotting, dry rotting bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I remember my standard
It's
degree
literally
chemistry.
taking the skin and muscle out to
Yeah.
the bone. Like that shit. I was like, holy fuck, that is fucking metal as shit.
You took
If
the
I
words
remember
right
my
out of my
standard degree
mouth.
chemistry. There's like an acidic side chain in the compound that makes up like crocodile or like morphine and stuff that they don't know how to deactivate. You have to be like an actual chemist to know how to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when you infect themselves, there's actually traces of like hydrochloric acid and stuff in it. That's what kind of rots your body.
Chris is a smart one in the band, I'm sure you know.
This
All
is
right,
your
we
weekly
got
science
three.
lesson.
That's not like
Yeah. Yeah, this is your weekly science lesson with Party Cannon and the New Music Podcast. But
Right.
so we got stupid off topic. I apologize.
Yeah, no, like,
No, I love it.
but yeah, basically my entire point is, did he even have a point? I
Don't-
Science is fun.
Yeah.
Song titles are good.
Sometimes people say vague things on stage that you can't really disagree with, so I don't really see
Yeah.
why they said them. It's like,
Wait a minute.
it's like
He's going to say people have said vague things, and you don't have to make those statements. I heard you say, standing next to me, into the microphone, spay and neuter your pets.
that's not like a vague statement. That's a bit more like concise. Like not like some people might not think to spay and neuter their pets,
Mhm.
but when someone says sex offenders are bad on stage, like that's true. I guess everyone agrees with it.
Except
mean-
sex offenders.
I mean-
But again, we're going back to the heroin dealers and buyers.
If
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you're
Well-
getting a sample of God damn it, the guy from Price is Right to say it, Bob Barker to say it, then okay, that's fine. If you're saying it, okay, I don't know so much about that. But it's got to be Bob Barker. Bob Barker's the only person I let tell me to spay and neuter my pets.
That's fair. No, I understand. It's an
All right,
authority.
that's
a
I love
fucking
that. That's
legend.
fair.
He's a
That was
fucking
Chris's
legend.
idea of a socially conscious mosh call. What the fuck is up, Danny? Spay and neuter your pets. Is that a Roblox oof?
Oh, the fucking oof. No, that's not Roblox. That's fucking Minecraft.
Oh, sorry. We got a gamer
I didn't
over here.
mean to offend. I am a gamer, okay?
Have you not seen the headset? This kid is definitely a gamer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's back that one.
I stream
Yeah.
on Twitch. Ha! I've had to put that out here.
Had to
I
plug
hope
it.
so. Hope you get free money.
That's
Well, what's
right.
your Twitch channel called? You didn't drop that one.
Oh shit! It's
Shameless plug.
shameless plug. Moshish Brah. MOSHISBRAH.
So it's Moshish Bra, and you stream games on Twitch.
Yes, I do.
Nice. That's good. That's a good plug. That's a good plug you had there.
All right, we got way off topic. Let me go
Yeah,
back
go
into topic. So what I meant to say was when we were talking about the differences between how you were saying the difference between the United States and the UK, is the
Oh, this is
genre
gonna go
that
badly,
you're-
man. This is gonna go
Oh,
very bad.
Oh God,
I love
This
it.
I'll go.
terrible.
Yeah.
Um, So, is there a difference? Obviously, there's a difference between the United States and UK. Is there any differences that you notice more in the genre that you're in compared to the United States and in the UK?
So would you
Because-
say that that question is kind of about both the scene and like different venues
Scene
that you
and-
played?
yeah. That's what I
see.
thought.
The notable difference for me is that venues in the UK generally have like a shitty drum kit and some really bad guitar cabs, and everybody uses them. Whereas the gigs that I've played stateside have always been like a great backline because one of the bands has brought their own equipment and everyone's sharing that. There's a bit. This is going to sound really judgmental on other bands for the UK, but it seems to me more like there's way more of a professional ethic towards equipment in the States, because we would turn up international touring band ready to play. Obviously we didn't have any heads or anything with us because the cost it would be to ship them, so we maybe had like a preamp pedal or a power amp or whatever else, and then bands were turning up and they had like a rolling rack, like a 48U rack, and it's like 3 Kempers and all wireless kits and
Yeah, I
a
couldn't believe
DI
it.
and a click track and a laptop to run all the sequence stuff in the background, and it's like,
Like the level of local band in America, it's insanely high. Like
Yes.
compared to, like I'm not ragging on the UK. Like there's great UK bands. The local scene in the UK is amazing, but when you get to America, it's like people invest so much money into their band. It's insane. People were turning up with their own fucking banners and stuff. Like all
Yeah.
this insanely expensive gear. Like it was all
That,
like
reminds,
ultra
that reminds
rehearsed.
me
I
of
was like,
Neil. That reminds me of Neil and his drum kit.
Yeah.
That
Yo,
reminds me
Neil's
of
drum
Neil.
kit is like, okay, so you've seen basically any System of a Down music video. You picture that big drum set with the solid metal bar that goes all the way across, that holds all
Yeah,
the
oh, yeah,
drums and
yeah,
everything
correct,
like that.
yep.
That was Neil's drum kit. I kid you fucking not. Like, and this guy was not fucking around. He meant it when he said he used every piece of that drum kit. Like, it's
The cost of having
amazing
a
the
drummer.
level
Yeah.
that people
Yeah, if you
people
guys
put
don't know
thousands of
Neil-
dollars into their band.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like the drum set, ridiculous. If you don't know Neil, we actually interviewed him a while ago. Pat knows him personally, but he's a good guy. He made Spongecore. If you ever heard Spongecore before.
yeah, I know Spongecore.
Yeah, he made Spongecore.
Wow.
He's a great guy. Greatest guy I've ever talked. One of the greatest guys I've ever talked to.
Absolute fucking legend here in upstate New York.
Yeah, absolute legend. And he's also has a new project that he actually came out with, Vintertodd.
Some black metal. It's Vintertodd.
Raw black metal.
Yeah,
Raw-
Very raw black metal.
Recognize the name anyway. So that's cool, man.
Mr. Neil Snyder. He's a very good boy. He's a very
That's good.
good boy.
With,
Good
with,
chap and
with
right
no-
good man.
with no disrespect to our drummer, Martin is much the same, but he just has like a lot of cymbals. And
Oh,
like I don't think it sounds like I'm being bitchy when I say that, but I can see why he would want to have all that equipment, because I mean, how much variation can you put on just like blasts without stuff to accent
Yeah.
it with? So I can see
if
the whole
I'm
point in
being
having all the
honest,
cymbals.
like most of the time with this genre and the further underground you go, sometimes the drums are really like the focal point. Sometimes, not to discredit, obviously, the two guitars I'm speaking.
Oh
to,
no, totally.
but
I agree.
but a lot
No,
of
no,
times it wouldn't have the same vibe or the
Yeah.
same energy without that type of drumming. So
Right.
if you need to have 3 different crashes, 3 different rides, like 4 Chinas, I don't care. Do what you got to do,
Oh,
man.
fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head there as well, because I don't know about you guys, but there seems to be a drought of capable drummers when it comes to the amount of people who can play guitar or
You know
bass
why,
or
right?
vocalists who can write songs. I know why. I
Because
don't. Tell
everything
me.
can be programmed. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Because anybody can download TuneTrack
Mhm.
or Tune, whatever that's called.
Easy drummer
Um,
tune track. You're right.
Yeah, you can download Easy Drummer and sound like a professional drummer, just right off the rip. And with the sad thing is that you're gonna see a decline in like the amount of gear that people bring to shows, because a lot of people
Oh,
are just
yeah.
gonna buy a fucking Kemper now. Like, you know, in like 10 years from now, everybody's gonna have a fucking Kemper, because then you won't have to spend 20 minutes loading in.
I don't know as
Yeah.
much, man. I think there's still an argument for people who are firmly
Oh.
in the analog route.
Oh
like,
yeah, definitely.
defend it to death. But I know what you're saying. Obviously, everything's now becoming. Everything's like fly rigs and small. I've even done the same.
So you don't even have a head.
I've got a 50-watt valve head that I don't use anymore. I use a preamp pedal and a 50-watt power amp pedal.
Yeah.
So my pedal board is all my effects and my amp. I just sit it on top of the cab and plug in, and that's me.
I've even downsized my rig. Like my fucking bass head is literally that size. It's like a micro head. It sounds just as good as like. But I used to have a giant head that fucking sounded great, but this one sounds exactly the same. It's just a fifth the weight and size. I can put my backpack and take it on a plane. So
Yeah.
I guess
and-
like the music market is like kind of catching on to the fact that there's lots of bands like us that travel and play gigs, but are still kind of we're not on the stage where we have a like kind of professional budget to like our disposal.
Mhm.
It's like what would help? Smaller stuff. Take it on a plane. I'll be fine. Flight safe.
it seems to me like just that's where the players are going to go, but like your audio engineers are the ones who are going to stick to the more analog route because they're the ones that care about every individual sound as they come through in the mix.
Like, anytime we record, I always really push to get like a natural, organic sound that sounds like people playing. I always want to use like tube heads. I want to have like analog recording where possible. Things like master to tape and things like that, just so it's kind of like a fucking vibe. Like sounds like an actual live recording of a band playing with humans, not just like
super compressed and boring.
Yeah, things that have like dynamic and like you can hear like the room sound and stuff, and you can only really get that if you use like lots of gear, I guess. So it's obviously it's quite expensive and time consuming, but you get more of a character of the band playing rather than just tracked into Pro Tools, all snapped to the grid, sample drums and things like that. So that kind of analog route, I hope that never goes away, because like natural sounding death metal is like the best. That's when you get like actual character from bands and stuff. Don't have to discredit bands. Like there's lots of bands I enjoy that have like, I don't know, modern production. But I don't like using the term modern production, but it's the only thing I can really describe it as. But are great. They write great songs, and I love seeing them live. But for me, like, you know, raw bands with like live production, that's where it is. That's like what I enjoy the most. So I hope that doesn't go away.
So what would you say to the people that just say, "Oh, metal's noise. Metal's just noise"?
I don't give a shit. It's like, cool, good for you, man. You don't understand, but I guess it's like
the way I've tried to explain to people is if you're into like really, really serious like hard style, like fucking Anger Fist, that kind of thing, listening to it isn't where you're going to find you enjoy it. It's being at one of the live shows and getting the experience and the atmosphere. Death metal's the same to me. It's all about the atmosphere, the human connection between the band being on stage and performing for the people in the crowd and people enjoying it and hopefully losing their shit and doing stupid shit like pretending they're dinosaurs in the pit and things like that. Like, fucking enjoy yourself, man. That's where I think people really find themselves. I had a few ex-colleagues of mine now, but still friends, came to one of your shows in Glasgow, and one of the bands called Wheelchair invited people from the crowd to come on and just start playing their instruments, and basically made a band while they left. And a guy I worked with who wasn't into death metal, wasn't really into music, ended up standing on the stage with one drumstick, just hitting the cymbals, having the best time of his life. Like, if that's not a great experience from nothing, like,
oh yeah,
how could you not go to that and have fun?
Exactly.
Yeah, so people who think metal is just noise, I guess, you just don't understand it, man. You just don't understand the art.
Okay, boomer.
Can't be more.
Just listen to it, forehead. But no, like that reminds.
Man. It's above your IQ, man.
Fucking 9,000 IQ.
It's high IQ music.
You could be super condescending and just be like, maybe you just don't get it. Like, make it a question just to see if you really rock their confidence. Maybe you just don't get it.
I mean, honestly, like that reminds me of when me and Pat went to a show together the first time. Both of us went to a show. Are
you talking about that hardcore show?
Yeah, like I made it my mission to talk to almost every fucking singer and take a picture with every singer.
And he did.
Of the bands. And I did. The fuck you mean? I did. But,
yeah,
it's like,
I just said
it, man. You set the goal and you achieved it.
No, I had a like I've never went. Yeah. I actually
I don't
got
think he
on.
had ever been to like a local hardcore show before.
No, I've never been to a local hardcore show at that point. I've been to concerts, but not a local show. So when I got to meet everybody, I was like that's what it's about. Meeting people and talking to people that have been doing it and meeting people. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, it doesn't matter. Yes, I mean, some people think it's noise. Okay. That's understandable, but it's still talent. No matter what you think, it's still talent. So I can't really say anything. I mean, like when you said he was just smashing the cymbal, having the greatest time of his life, like that's what made him happy. Just do what makes you happy. Like
I went to
Like-
university with a dude who told me that he joined a death metal band. And he didn't play any instruments, but he wanted to be the drummer. And the only reason he let him join is he would hit his head off the cymbals.
that's fucking amazing.
Wait, he would what?
He would headbutt the cymbals.
That's
That's pretty fucking metal right there.
Yeah. I didn't play the drums. Had no sense of rhythm, but he would headbutt the drums. So
Look good live until he started trying to play his songs around.
That's why they backtrack everything. Fucking
I
hey,
miss you,
man.
Liam. You crazy bastard. I miss you.
Sorry, man.
See, I don't have a lot of experience in hardcore shows or hardcore in general. My first eye-opener was when we played at Bay Area Death Fest in 2015 and No Zodiac were on the lineup. And everybody was just talking about, like, when No Zodiac come on, everybody should just leave because there will be, like, blood and shit. It'll be a fucking massacre. And I remember being there and just seeing, like, the middle of the room, there was, like, it was these complete opposites of people. It was either people running for the fear of their life or these people who were ready just to kick everything that was in the room. And it was just wild to watch. Like, it was, I appreciated the atmosphere of it. Obviously, the hardcore scene's all about that kind of brutality and extreme violence, generally speaking, when it comes to, like, not the machismo, but that idea of it. Like, it's very masculine.
I think it's like music designed to be like a release in some way, because like hardcore's all meant to be like
Brotherhood.
real, like brotherhood, like kind of real people music about real things.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they're singing about actual issues that probably do affect people. It's an idea you go to a gig, you kind of relate to it and you let it all out. Whereas the kind of music we play, like I don't know how many people relate to fucking like having sex with dead bodies and stuff. So it's a bit of a different vibe.
Given the success.
I guess like we don't have lyrics about that. But then again, most of the lyrics are about fucking like Lovecraftian monsters and fucking random shit. I don't know if people relate to that either.
Did Stoner Nut write lyrics basically about Ghost in the Shell and Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Things like that. Like, so that's a bit of a different vibe. But I don't even know what point I'm making right now. Maybe I'm saying I understand what people go and make it's like a release some way.
Yeah, what you're trying to say is people can relate to this type of music.
Yeah.
Hardcore is literally punk, but good. But actually good.
I see, like,
that's what hardcore is.
I see like hardcore and grindcore as punk taken to like the logical conclusion of punk music. Because punk, when it came out, was maybe like noisy and rebellious and fast and
punk was just sloppy and garbage. That's pretty much what it was. It was
I guess
it was
the
like
intention.
People related to it, but it was fucking garbage. Like that's what it was. And then hardcore came. It's like, it's like punk, but better, but actually good.
Fighting music.
So I guess like grindcore and hardcore is like the ethics and the goal of punk kind of taken to that like, extreme level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, that's the way I kind of see that. I think my point is hardcore is kind of based in reality, and kind of metal is mostly kind of like fantasy, so it's kind of a different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like you wouldn't really go, I'm gonna go fucking crowd kill some people to a song about dragons. That's gonna be fucking awesome.
I think it's also about pushing the boundaries. You know, you're talking about art and how art you have to push the boundaries in art, and like that everything's subjective when it comes to it as well. You think about some of the song subjects and titles of bands that we've played with, and they'd be the nicest people you've ever met.
Totally, man. Like,
yeah.
Big disparity there.
Which people don't understand when they think of, oh my god, that's just noise and that sounds so fucking angry. And then you meet the actual fucking people and actually talk to them, and they're the nicest fucking people I ever met.
Well, it's because when they get on stage, they're letting all that out. It's like, you know, for that first few moments on stage, it's like, And then on off stage is like, how are you? It
Yeah.
was nice. I'm so glad you came out to see us. Thank you so much.
That literally reminds me of that fucking singer from fucking that one hardcore. That
Oh, you're
fucking
talking about
hardcore show.
Keonashi.
Yeah,
Keonashi's just
Keonashi.
like that.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Literally, Keonashi is literally like that. I didn't realize that like the lead singer of
Super
Keonashi
flamboyant.
is super flamboyant,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't even notice it. And then like he started like high pitched screaming like, and then he's like, Albany, yes. Like
I'm honestly
literally, that was
surprised they
it.
weren't playing at Waterworks.
That reminds me of.
Oh, that's fucking terrible, Pat.
Oh.
You take that fucking shit back.
I would.
It reminds me
Okay,
of Chuck
here's the thing.
Schuldiner.
I only say that because I would love to see a hardcore band get into a gay club. That's
Okay,
all I'm
that's
saying.
fact.
That's all I'm saying.
That's a fact. But yeah, Waterworks is a gay club in Albany. But yeah,
They're
that
doing
was,
gigs. So like gigs and shows happen at the gay club. That'd be fucking awesome.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I'd
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
love to do that.
what they
I would be
do is
more
more of
likely to check out a metal band or a hardcore band at a gay club than I would any other club.
that's a fact.
That'd be cool. I mean, I'd be down to do it. That'd be awesome.
That is a unique selling point.
Yeah.
Like honest, well, the Waterworks that we're talking about, the gay club that we're talking about, is just straight cross dressing. Like there's drag,
It's just like a lot of drag shows.
Yeah, it's just drag shows. But that would be lit if it was a drag show mixed with fucking hardcore. I would fucking lose my mind and I would go immediately. That'd be
Man, I could
awesome.
I'll go
Some
grab my
drag queens
wig and I'll
throwing down.
go show
Yeah, I
up.
could see that working. I could totally see that working. Because like, especially when like power violence and grindcore, like it's all very pro like LGBT culture and stuff. So I could totally
Well,
put on an
I
idea
mean,
here. This is a selling point. You could mix that.
Are you
quite
familiar
easily.
with the show Dr.
Yes!
Acula? Or no, not Dr. Acula. That's a band. Dragula.
Dragula? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like RuPaul's Drag Race.
It's
Chris
kind of
Rogers
like
and
that,
stuff.
but it's
Yeah.
extremely grimy and punk. and
Yeah,
like-
yeah, it's like Dragula's a bit more.
I've only seen the first episode, and I distinctly remember that like all the people that lost that round had to be buried, and they didn't tell them that as they were dropping dirt on them, they were like supposed to be buried alive for a set amount of time, but they didn't tell them that they were gonna piss on them.
What the fuck?
So-
Really?
Well, there was one person in particular who decided, you know what? You're trying to psych me out. I'm going to psych you out. And you know what he started yelling? Yes, Daddy! Oh!
That's
Give me
amazing.
more, Daddy!
That's-
Your wife is gonna be. Your wife right now is like, what the fuck?
My wife, my landlord, they're all asking what the fuck.
my family, my parents, they're like, man.
The young
man,
children
I'm so
upstairs.
I don't
glad.
want to live with my parents anymore. So glad. They would have knocked down the door, kid in arm, and been like, what the fuck you doing?
I'm picturing your wife right now with kid in hand. Bang! What'd you say?
Imagine
What
being
the
the
fuck
first
are you
person
doing?
to ever be swatted by their own parents.
Yep.
Full on, Get on the ground! Who's daddy?
Yeah, get on the ground. Who the fuck's daddy?
Jesus Christ.
I thought of like a fucking Full Metal Jacket scene for some reason. It was like a fucking yes, daddy, yes, daddy. Do you understand that? Yes, daddy. What? Drop you on your knees and give me 20. Yes, daddy.
But if we go back to the original point between the difference between the UK like slam scene and the fucking
Yes.
US slam scene.
Yeah, let's get back to that.
But yeah, man, like yeah, it's good. I like the US slam scene. I feel like people in the US are way more willing to buy merchandise as well at gigs and will come up and tip you and want to talk to you and be your friends and stuff. Whereas in the UK, it's kind of like they'll just say hi and they might come over and leave and you kind of just get isolated a bit. But I feel when you go to a gig in the US, everyone's kind of a bit more. I want to say sociable, but maybe that's not the word. I want to say just like kind of welcoming. The people will come up and like be hyped to like talk to you. Like, you know, you never met them. You're your best friend in 2 seconds.
Stronger community.
Yeah. But I think that's just an American
Yeah.
thing in general. Like people there are quite
So
Confident.
then,
I think
how
confident.
would you compare and contrast that with how you did with your Asian tour?
That's a
Because
good question.
everything I've heard about Asian tours is that, well, Asian and like the South American, South African tours is that those guys go crazy at these
Oh yeah,
shows.
yeah.
Yeah, I've
They go
heard that
insane.
too.
When we played Davao in the Philippines, there was like 200 people there. We played like a pool hall, just like the other end of it. Like they kind of had like monitors set up. There wasn't really kind of stage or anything, and that was crazy. Like people were just losing their shit and they couldn't believe there was like a band playing and stuff. It was amazing. Like as people were telling me, you don't really get like as many underground extreme death metal gigs there, even though it's like a really big scene there. So when it happens, everyone just like piles in and like makes the most of it. So I was like 200 people on a Tuesday night, which is insane for a bands like Party Can or Waking Devour. I mean, bands that have a following, but you would expect 200 people on a Tuesday. That's like insanity.
Yeah.
But, I think
No matter
like,
what venue.
yeah. I think I permanently damaged my eyesight by taking so many pictures of people that night. I must have taken at least, like, not exaggerating, 100 pictures of people, always flashing, and there's like strobe lights going off all night. I remember I was sitting in the van afterwards and I was blinking, and there was like spots in my eyes, like, fuck me, it's I never expected this to happen.
Right?
But yeah, like they were really making the most of it. It was amazing. Like I felt so welcomed. Everyone was like telling me like just kind of like thank you for playing, thank you for thinking of us. Like so yeah, that was but seriously, so many pictures. Like, people like fighting over to like get pictures of me, which is insane. Like I've got like a fucking day job. I remember like 1 week I was taking pictures of 100 people. People were like, "Oh man, I love your band. It's a dream to see you." And then I flew home and went back to my office job, and people were like, "Fucking Chris, like you're doing all this wrong." I'm like, what the fuck have you been doing? It's like, sorry, I'm really tired from being on tour with my band.
Yeah.
What is
This
your
guy
day
called
job?
me. I was like,
Yeah.
Alright.
What do you do?
I can't tell you what I do because I work for the government. But
I love that answer.
Like, I'm
I
not
love
allowed to
that
tell you what I do.
It's literally like that one movie. I'd tell you, but I'd have to kill you. Like it's that point.
Not quite that serious.
No. Yeah. Work
Well,
for the government.
about
It's
that.
Like,
I mean, we both can tell you our jobs. I mean,
We work
I'm
for big corporations.
yeah, we work for big corporations. Well, we both work in completely different corporations. I work for Walmart. So
And I work for Starbucks.
oh,
So-
some people out there, man.
So, wanting to kill myself every day.
yeah,
Oh,
more and more.
That's important. That's just important.
I don't think it matters where you work. That's a very much a general feeling.
No.
Yeah.
I used to be a librarian, and I had that feeling. So be surrounded by books and students all day. Like, fuck this, man. This is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
The worst job I've ever had was being a debt collector.
Oh yeah, I've been fucking, especially in Scotland. I've been mental.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Worst
what
job
was
ever.
that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear
A
that.
debt collector?
Debt collector.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Yeah, man. I used to work in a cinema as well. That was like my first proper job. That fucking sucked. Like a movie theater. Like I worked the weekend Twilight came out, like the final Twilight film, and I
Oh,
served over
God.
I'm sorry. I'm
Sorry.
I'm
sorry.
so sorry.
1,000 people in a day. Oh, what fucking like hot dogs? Oh, it was awful. It was the worst. It's just the worst.
Like
I've never
I would have to say the only different, because my sister used to work at a cinema. The only perks that you get out of that is getting fucking posters that you're not allowed to have. Like
Yeah,
that's
that
the
was-
only perk. Because my
like,
sister, I have a picture of my sister on my phone right now and on my Facebook of her having a bunch of fucking posters kicked down my door, and she's like, "I got posters." Like, all right.
yeah, the best part of working in cinema was I got a card that let me see films for free, but you had to work there for 3 months and not get fired before you got that card.
I
you just
will say that's a regulation. You cannot get fired in 3 months.
You just let people go all the time. It's like, you fucking spilled some popcorn, go home, you're done, you're finished.
Go home, you're
It's
done.
over for you.
You're dead. You're dead. You're dead in my book.
That's like $20 of profit right there on the board. What
What the fuck you doing?
You got time to lean. You got time to clean.
Exact. I've heard that so many, especially in food service.
Starbucks, man.
Yeah.
I hate that sentence.
Yeah.
That's the worst sentence ever.
Fucking, the job I had
Nothing says
after the
corporate
cinema.
more than that sentence.
All right. The job I had after the cinema was pretty good. I worked in a place called Deep Sea World, which is just like a aquarium near Edinburgh, and I was like the tropical fish expert there for a while. So they had an maybe not tropical. It's been a while. It was like the Amazon rainforest set up, and I had to learn about this fucking alligator fish. I'd had really long hair at the time, so people would come in. I'd have like shirt on, like a ponytail, and like have their kids and stuff. Like, let me tell you about this alligator fish. He lives in this temperature, and he eats these things. At some point today, someone will come in and feed him. That was a pretty good job. That was better than the cinema. But it's still fucking, it's just weird. It's a weird job to have.
Working
We-
such.
It's weird that you do that during the day, and then when you get home, it's party cannon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you also got to think too, Pat. We've worked in fucking way different jobs as well, and then we come home and we got this, or we have just the music that we're into, like, like.
Makes life worth living though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
It makes it a bit sweeter. Like, see if I go to work for like I work 9 to 5, like Monday to Friday, and if I deal with a shitty week, then I go play like an awesome gig in a foreign country on the Saturday, fly in and fly out. It's still like, that's awesome. It makes it more worthwhile in a way.
Oh,
If I
yeah.
played gigs as a living, I would probably hate it. If I had to rely on brutal death metal to make me money, that'd probably that'll be a
I mean,
fun,
I
right?
can see that. I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say you'd be extremely unhappy at that because there is no money in it.
Yeah, I'd be definitely broke if I did that.
I think I read an
Very,
article
very
about the
sick.
guys from Die Hard is Murder barely make minimum wage.
That was a weird
is
one.
Terrible.
Yeah,
Like that is
for-
terrible.
I read a bunch of articles about that as well because I was pretty interested. Like a band like Die Hard is Murder, the guy claimed, I'm totally misquoting this. He said something like he's made only 12 grand, which is like a year's wage, and the
That's
whole time,
Terrible.
and like the whole time he was in that band. So over the course of like, say he was in the band for 6 years, he only made 12 grand. Then some guy wrote like a breakdown of like, how could you possibly be making that little money if he's in the Die Hard is Murder? If Die Hard is Murder plays Scotland, it's not quite sold out, but there's going to be at least like 150 people there on a
Oh
weeknight.
yeah.
So, and plus on the merch, if I go anywhere, like I go to a Muay Thai gym, right? And there's a guy there that wears Die Hard is Murder merch all the time. So I'm guessing like they are like a big band, lots of people wearing merchandise. I could just walk about the street and see people in Scotland wearing Die Hard is Murder merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
So where is that money going? How come that? And their guarantee must be like at least 4 figures, right? And they must be making
yeah.
like several G's a night on merch and guarantees. So where's that money going? Something must have gone wrong there. So like,
Well,
There
what
has
you gotta
management and
factor
labels
in
look
is, you know, the label and the fact that
Yeah,
there's 5
the label,
members,
too.
and then like,
Yeah.
you know,
but enough
all the
again,
people that help out
extra
on the
strength.
tour itself,
Yeah.
because like a lot of bands like that don't just have the 5 members setting up their stage.
No, of course.
They
Like,
have
I
people.
understand it. But this article that this guy posted had a breakdown of all that, and he said after all that expenses, he must be taking home like at least $600 a day. Of course, it's all like theoretical, but I'm just amazed
Yeah.
how he could have. It just seemed like such a bold statement to say he only made this amount of money over the 6 years of being in one of the biggest metal bands going. It just seemed a
Yeah.
bit insane. I'm not in his shoes though, so obviously I don't know the deal. This is purely speculation. Obviously he knows what he's made, and obviously he can judge whether it's worth it or not. That's his choice, and he knows the facts. I don't know the facts, but it just seemed madness. It seemed fucking mind blowing that he'd
Yeah.
have to quit because of that.
Well, especially where me and Pat live specifically, minimum wage can't get you shit. Like
Well,
minimum
can get
wage,
shit here as well, man.
like it's so like I think right now minimum wage is 11.10 or 11.50, I believe, an hour.
I
I
haven't
make-
made minimum wage since I was 16, so I don't know what it is.
Well, yeah, because I got confused right after we got out of Regis, so I had no idea what minimum
Gotcha.
wage was. So like when I was sitting there, because I make $13.50 an hour right now, and that's still not paying my fucking bills. Like that's barely paying my bills.
Shit's
I can't,
expensive, man.
Yeah. Well, New York is very expensive.
Yeah,
New York is
exactly right.
very expensive.
For no
Um,
reason.
Yeah, for no reason. Like, there's a big ass meme going around. Well, it's been going around for years now. It's like, you're leaving New York. Why? Is it because something that we taxed? Like, we get taxes for everything. It's not even funny. But like,
Yeah,
if I
our
go back
taxes
to like,
rival California.
Yeah.
So if that,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah. So like
Just out of
11.10.
curiosity. Sorry,
11
to interrupt.
Yeah, no problem.
Just how much are fuel costs in New York?
Well, that
Question.
depends. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have fuel, but I believe when I was living at my mom at the time, I believe when we were living in a trailer, I believe it was like 120 at a gallon, but I was like 8 or 9 at the time. But now my grandparents pay like $300 or more to get it filled for heating.
Oh, sorry.
wise.
I should have.
Did he mean for
reworded
gas
that.
for
I meant
travel
like
or
gas
for,
for
car?
gas?
traveling. Sorry.
It's probably more like 250.
I can
Somewhere
tell you
between
right now.
250
Hold
and
up.
275.
I can tell you right now. Hold up.
The
Hold
reason
up.
I ask is everyone that I speak to from the US who finds out what fuel costs are like for traveling in the UK shits themselves.
Oh man.
So tell me how much you guys would
Right
pay for
now-
a gallon of fuel.
Right now,
I mean,
diesel is 305.
Okay,
Diesel
a gallon.
is 305
Yep.
a gallon. And because I live right next to a Stewart's, I'm not even
He's
joking.
literally looking out his
Oh
window.
yeah.
Yeah.
Literally not even joking.
Right,
And
cool. So you're talking 305 a gallon,
so-
which is 60.
well, that's
for
diesel.
diesel.
That's diesel.
For diesel.
That's
For
diesel.
diesel? Okay.
Regular is about 267 right now. So
Cool.
I take regular, so that's 267. My old car, I did the premium. That is like $3.
Okay, so let's just go with the diesel, right? So 305, you're talking 61 cents a litre. In the UK, you buy fuel by the litre and not by the gallon. We are currently about £1.27. So our fuel costs are like 10 times as much as yours. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's insane, right?
frightening.
What is
And
that? What
about
is that in
tax?
US dollars? Yes.
In US dollars, a pound is about £1.25. Says maybe I don't know,
I'll Google it right now.
$2. Let's say might be more than that. A litre,
Yeah, he's Googling it right
$10 a gallon. You
That
guys
is disgusting.
$10 a gallon.
I almost puked. I
Yeah,
almost
like-
puked.
it's
Child,
it's not
you
that
remember
bad.
how many
It's like
people were pissed about $4 a gallon?
Oh my fucking god.
£1.20 is $1.50 at the moment because this pound's not that strong right now.
Oh,
So
right.
$1.50 a litre. So that's $7.50 a gallon, maybe.
Yeah, so not as bad, but still bad.
Yeah, that's the right reaction. That is
Hold
the
on one
right
second.
reaction.
Hold on one second.
It's 120. That's if you get it cheap. Most diesel, when you're on like the motorway, you guys would call it the highway. The service
Yeah.
stations are like 154.
Oh my god.
Remember guys in Parasitic when it first came to Europe, and they're saying to us like, "Oh wow, fuel looks so cheap here. £1 20 for a gallon. That's amazing." And they started filling up his van, and the price went to like £107. Like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yo, I remember when the price of gas went from $4 to $2.50, and the first thing I'm thinking is like all the touring bands must be loving this right now.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, we love
And then, and now I'm hearing this, and I'm like, well, I'm never gonna go to the UK for
Understand.
a tour. Never gonna happen. But
So
Oh my fucking god. That is disgusting. And
it's
I
funny, right?
owned a
And
truck at one time. I owned a truck at one time, and that truck, I used to drive like an hour just to get to work, and that was like $60 $60 every time I filled up for every 1 week. Oh my god,
I drive an hour
$10.
after Dave, I reckon I spend £300 in fuel just going to work. I make more money working from home than I do going to fucking work, man.
My god.
the reason I was asking is right. The last time I was in the States, we had a hire car, and it was a big Ford Explorer. Didn't ask for it. That's what we ended up
oh
with, right?
fuck,
So we were driving
Oh
around New York
boy.
enough, and then I drove to. I'm not sure which airport it is. I want to say McKinnon.
what state was
Look
it in?
Yeah, what's
It was in New York. It was an ex-military airport. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the point was we had this big car and we'd been driving about all day. And I went to fuel it up and I went into the station and gave the guy $40 to prepay. And it took about $7. And that was like quarter of a tank. And I was convinced the pump was broken. Like there's no way I
Yeah.
filled that's quarter of a tank for $7. It's not possible.
Well, let me break this down. Me and Pat, you know where I'm going, Pat. When we worked at Regis at the time, it was an inventory company. When we first met, this is when me and Pat first met. I was the driver. We both were a driver, and we'd have company vehicles. It was a big, huge Chevy van. It held 12 passengers, including the driver.
Nice.
Good old
So-
Chevy Express.
Good old Chevy Express. We had a lot of memories in that Chevy. A lot of good memories and a lot of bad memories, but it was our
Facts.
baby. But literally, it would be like half a tank of gas. We never paid for gas. It was always the company.
No, it was the company that always paid for it.
So if we were on E
That's a
and
dream.
we were in, yeah, exactly. If we were on E and we went to the gas station across the street from our job and we filled that up, it would be like
Mhm.
$80 or
Yep.
more, like almost $107 or more.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm like, thank God I do not have to pay this shit. And it was like it was like every week because we would drive 4 hours almost every single day
Mm-hmm.
just to get to a hotel or the fucking store. So it was a lot of fucking money.
That was just like
Gas is-
when I used to
gas
be a librarian. One of my duties was I had to drive like the library van to people's houses. Like if someone died and donated their books, I'd have to fucking drive the van there and collect on their books. And I had this like company credit card, and it was like a splitter van. It was like not fuel efficient in any way. So every day I'd go and fill up and be like, literally like 160 quid. Like, how do people manage this?
Oh,
Where is
yeah.
this money coming from for fuel?
It was the same as, it's the same as like we would always joke if we had to like speed up a little bit. The thing sounded nasty. The thing sounded it had
Oh, yeah.
balls. The
Oh,
thing
yeah.
sounded like it had so much balls, but it really didn't. So we're like, all right, we need to go up to 65 miles per hour real quick. All right, that's $50 right there.
Fucking
Like,
hell.
swear to God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that,
Oh,
that
my-
van got so bad. Like I think we were going for an inspection, Pat, at one point, and they were like, "Yeah,
That
by
was
the way,
towards
we
the
fixed
end
your
of our-
inspection."
that
We
was
like,
towards the end.
yeah, we were like, we brought it over, and it's like, yeah, it's for an inspection. And the guy came back, he's like, "Yo, we had to fix your whole entire suspension.
Oh, man.
If you hit one more bump, the whole suspension would have went down and would have fell off. So we fixed that for you."
That's fucking great.
I was
So
like,
what-
all right.
Do you guys tour in a Ford Explorer? Is that what you're saying?
No,
No,
it was,
no. That was just
We had
something
the
you
day
rented out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had our last day before we flew home was in New York, and we had to get to the airport. So rather than trying to arrange like a transfer or whatever, we just hired a car, and then that way we had some transport for the day to go do whatever sightseeing shit we could do,
Yeah.
and then we could go to the airport with all our equipment quite easily. So it was pretty good. I quite enjoyed driving in the States, except on the highway, you guys have no rules. In the UK, you always drive in the left-hand lane unless you're overtaken. You move over one lane, then move back in. When I was there, it was just like everybody was trying to go faster or slower or behind or in front of
Yep.
you at the same time.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
fucking pandemonium, man.
You guys
Well-
don't have roundabouts. That's not like a
We
turning
do.
system.
We do, but it's very rare.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Same.
You
we don't
fucking
usually-
say that, man. But like
I mean, yeah,
downtown
true.
Albany has like a circle of roundabouts where there's like
Yeah.
it's almost like the fucking dodecahedron that
Oh,
has
really?
like a circle here, a circle
Yeah.
here, a circle here, a circle here, a circle here, a circle.
Yeah,
It's
that's like
fucking
a normal
ridiculous.
UK road. See, when we first went on tour in the States, Jono from Paris Ticket Ejaculation, he was driving us, and we came to a roundabout. He'd never seen one before in his life, but we deal with them every day. So I was like leaning over a chair, I had his shoulder, like, "You can do this, John. You can do this. Don't worry, man. Here's what you need to do: just get into that lane, then take this exit, and you're golden, man. Just give away to." You'd be giving away to the left. Just give away to the left. When that guy's gone, just go. He's like, "I don't know what to do, man. I'm so scared. I'm so scared." Like, "You got this, man. You got this. We can do this."
We believe in you,
Yeah, that was a surreal moment.
Like,
Nearly
I,
I was
Yeah,
yeah,
it
driving
would be
on the side of the
surreal
road.
to be driving in UK on the opposite side of the road for us, but
yeah.
We've had a few mishaps. We came off the ferry in the Netherlands and drove on the wrong side of the road, and a man in a giant truck charged at us, slammed the brakes on just before he hit us, jumped out, started threatening us in
Yep.
Dutch. And
Yeah.
none of us speak Dutch, not even Martin.
Yep, our drummer was driving. He's actually from Europe, and somehow drove on the wrong side of the road. So that was
I mean, he's
Oh,
probably so
God.
fucking used to the one side. I mean, you have to be at some point.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, man, driving in the States is nuts. But I think driving in Europe is just as mental. People drive like, especially in Holland, people drive like they don't want to live. It's like fucking insane.
That sounds like Connecticut.
That sounds like Connecticut so bad.
Oh
That
my
is so
god.
Connecticut.
We have so
No,
many
don't think so.
fucking stories. Connecticut drivers are fucking douchebags. Same with New Jersey people. Oh
Here's the
my
thing.
god.
At least in New Jersey, they know what a turn signal is.
Oh, facts.
In Connecticut, they have no fucking idea what that is.
In California, you can turn right on red. That fucking blew my mind.
Yeah,
No, you
that's
can
some
do
fucked
it
up shit.
anywhere. You can
You
do it
can. It's just
What a
if
fucking
it
law is
tells
that?
you not to turn right on red. There's a lot of them
law
that
is
tell you
that?
you can't no right on red on here. But if they don't say no right on red, you can right on red.
So the fuck is that, man? It's like red light means stop. You don't go to red light. So why the fuck you turn right? What the fuck?
But the thing is, you have to come to legally speaking, you have to come to a complete stop before you make that turn.
Yeah, but Pat, technically, they're on the other side of the road, so technically it's left on
You have a
red.
handbook out here, guys. Well,
Oh.
you can find in Article 5, Paragraph
Yeah,
4,
so-
find that you
yeah.
can actually turn right in an event of like a storm. You can turn right. If you see a goose on the highway, you can turn right. It's okay.
Well, also with you guys, isn't it? Well, with you guys, since you're on the other side of the road, isn't it left on red?
No.
We're not allowed to turn at all on red
It's
lights.
red. You stop.
Oh,
Stay there.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Red-
got you.
Red's absolutely no go. Do not. If you run a red light, you get fined.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, there's no right. We played. There's a place in Europe called Malta. It's kind of near Italy, I think. My geography's quite bad.
That's
Oh, wait, what was this place in Malta called?
The place was in Malta. We played. It was Valletta in Malta, and
the venue was an old prison.
Cannibal Corpse played that venue before. It was a
I
converted prison
definitely know that there's a venue out in Malta, but I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah.
name, but there used to be a prison. Cannibal Corpse played there. Anyway, we flew up there. A gig.
I think it was on Guitar Hero 3, actually. That video game, Guitar Hero 3, actually.
We're friends with a band that are called Repugnance, who are like a great band. They just released a new album this year. You should check that out. But we took a few days out. We went, flew over, played a gig, stayed in Malta for a few days, and Malta's like made up of a few islands. So there's
It's an archipelago.
so there's a island called Gozo that's got loads of beaches. They went, okay, what we'll do tomorrow is we'll take the ferry to Gozo, and we'll just hang out there. So they picked us up in their car, and they're like, right, fasten your seatbelt on and hold on. And the fucking driving in Malta was insane. Like 60 miles an hour everywhere, like all the rickety roads and stuff. There's like broken cars everywhere, like swerving in and out of stuff. And they're just like going through red lights, like fuck, like not even like looking or checking. I went, George, should you really be going through those red lights? And he went, if there's a red light and there's no one coming, it defaults to a green light. It's like, is that actually the law there? He's like, no, it's not. I just lied to you. It's like,
That sounds like Connecticut.
Yep.
Well, also in New Jersey, in the United States, New Jersey, there is no left turns at all. You cannot do a left turn in some places in New Jersey. You have to go through a roundabout
fucking mental.
just to take a left. Yeah.
It's like that statement, like 3 lefts make a right, but it's more like 3 rights make a left.
Yeah, it's literally that.
Yeah.
I guess
and
it's just principle of roundabouts, though, right?
I thought it was so funny. That reminds me when Pat first saw that the first time. He's
Oh,
like,
man.
"What the fuck do I do?" And I'm like, "All right, just go in this lane and do this roundabout to take a left." And he looked at me and he was like, "This is fucking stupid."
yeah, that sounds like me. That sounds
That just makes me
exactly
think
like
That
me.
makes me think of Zoolander, how he can't turn left. He's not an ambi-turner or something.
Yeah.
He can only turn on right.
Like, let me just say how Connecticut is so bad. This is how bad it is. I took a month off of Regis to have another job, and then I came back, and I was still certified to drive, but I wasn't company policy. I wasn't.
Right.
Able to
Yeah.
drive.
I know what you mean.
We were in Connecticut or Massachusetts. I can't remember. I think it was Connecticut. Pat looked at me so fast while we were on the highway. He's like, "Dude, I'm not driving to Connecticut anymore. This is fucking bullshit. Not doing it. You can do it." I'm like, "All right." I don't
Yeah, that's
care.
totally fair, man. See, in the Philippines, when we got there, the driving there was insanity. I remember just like clutching the van seat the whole time, like, oh my god, I can't believe it.
That
But
was
it's
me
like-
in New York City. That was me in New York City, 100%.
Like, credit to him, I didn't see a single accident. but it was so close. The driver like really knew what he was doing, but it was so much weaving in and out, like cutting across really busy like intersections, so to be like a cross junction, and you just be piling out and be like traffic everywhere. People like trying to turn around, the U-turns of the road and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Fucking crazy. There's like people in bikes just like cycling about, like weaving in and out of cars. It was fucking insanity, man. And all the roads are like, pretty fucked up as well. So we're like going over bumps, like trying to like go through tight corners and this big like bus and stuff, and
That's
other
amazing.
cars like weaving in and out. Oh, it's stressful, man. There's no chance I could do that. I'd have flipped the car the moment we came on the airport. Like, fuck this.
Fuck this shit, I'm flipping.
Party Canyon is
I don't know.
done.
Hit flip.
We're done. We're just gonna flip the van here.
It's all over
Rest-
for us now,
rest in
guys. I'm
peace.
flipping the car.
We can make it
That's
so
it.
much
I'm
easier.
ending the band. I'm quitting the band, and we're all quitting. I'm flipping this bitch over.
Yep. You know, I know that day's going to come when Chris decides to put a trailer on any vehicle that we drive, because that seems to be the story. As soon as you put a
Yeah.
trailer on your vehicle, you're upside down.
Yeah, we've got a rule in the
Yep.
band. No trailers, not ever. Because it's just like, it's going to flip. No one are like, I'm convinced our band is cursed. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. So if we have a trailer,
Oh, Murphy's
something's
Law.
going on fire, something's flipping over, something's coming off, someo's dying.
Someone's
no
equipment's
trailers,
breaking.
not ever.
That sounds like our old Regis fan, Pat. That
Fucking
literally
legit.
sounds like
Fucking
like,
legit.
every time we fixed one thing, something else would break in that fucking van. It was
Kyle,
ridiculous.
I used to tell you all the time that the Regis van was like a band van because you would fit 10 people
yeah,
in it,
you were-
and then we'd
yeah.
just go wherever it was in the Northeast, whether it be Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, even. Like
Vermont.
we would just go there and then count the inventory at that Walmart. So it was like doing a show constantly.
Yeah, I guess.
Except-
Yeah.
Except we'd be hanging out in fucking Walmart for like 10 hours of the day.
That's
Yeah.
like being on tour though. Like when we toured the States, at both times, it was mostly sitting in Walmart and deciding where to go next. Drive like 10 hours through the desert, hit Walmart. I remember I bought like, we're in Texas. I bought some like chocolate trail mix stuff and I was excited to eat it. But it was so hot. By the time I walked from Walmart to the
Yep.
car and got in, literally less than a minute, it completely melted and became this solid block of trail
Yep.
mix. I was like, what the fuck is this, man?
That sounded.
How do
That
people
sounds like,
survive here?
that sounds
Yeah.
like Texas in the summer. That sounds like
Oh,
Texas.
yeah. Like
Oh, man.
110 degrees of dry heat.
Yeah.
Arizona, man.
Great
Fucking hell.
humidity.
That was the worst.
So you guys have played in Arizona. Did you guys play in Club Red?
Is that in Scottsdale?
That's in Mesa. Mesa.
No. We played Scottsdale, Arizona. I can't remember the name of the club, but the gig was fucking awesome. And there was lots of people there, people were into it. But the one thing I remember from a gig is absolutely fucking killer heat outside. And it was also like the air conditioning in the venue didn't work as well. And in Scotland it never ever gets that hot. Ever. So I was
Yep.
dying outside, like fuck this. So I'd go inside and still be roasting, but like a different type of heat. So like I'm bored of being this type of boiled. I'll go inside and just be a different type of hot for a while and kind of cycle between the two. But the gig itself was great. A lot of people came out like a Thursday night. We got lots of them doing push-ups during our set and stuff. Yeah, it was great. That was a really good gig. We're planning on coming back to America next year, so I really hope to play Scottsdale again.
So
Scottsdale,
New York. Albany, New York. That's where you're going.
our plan is to end in the kind of Midwest, so I really hope we get there. But
Yeah.
Well, we're east. We're not west.
Yeah.
We're east. We're up
well, we hope
east.
like we could maybe like I know America's a big place and my geography's really bad, so we might start on the West Coast. Somehow end up in the East
Work
Coast.
your way east.
Then go back to the Midwest and fly home. But
There you go. Fuck
It
it.
would be the silliest
Gotta
thing we've
figure it
ever
out.
no,
You gotta
Yeah.
figure it out.
that's doable in 2 weeks easily.
You'd be surprised the
cover
amount of
all
travel
of
you
those
can do in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, you'd be super surprised.
I moved from Arizona to New York in, I want to say, less than 48 hours.
Wait, so you're not from New York then?
No, I'm from New York, but I lived in Arizona for
Oh,
4
right,
years.
yes.
That's why
Cool.
when you said Arizona, I was like, where in Arizona were you? Because I
makes
lived in
sense.
Phoenix for a while. I was actually right down the road from Sky Harbor Airport. I used to work at that airport. But there's a lot of good venues out there. So I was curious which one you went to.
yeah,
we
I'm,
played-
I'm the only
so-
one that lived in New York his whole entire life. I'm the
Been
only.
in-
here.
Specifically Schuylerville, your whole
Well,
life.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, Schuylerville is literally a small little town, but the GPS says Schoolerville. I'm like, no, that's not how you fucking
Schoolerville.
pronounce it. That's not how you fucking pronounce it.
Christ, man. But yeah, so Scottsdale was really cool. I really hope we get back out there.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch King of the Hill? There's an
Yes.
episode of King of the Hill. They go to Arizona. I think Peggy's like, this state is a testament to man's arrogance against God or something. Like, how do people actually live here? And I got there, and I had these 99-cent flip-flops from Walmart, and I stood on the ground for too long, and they melted to the fucking pavement.
Yep. I remember getting
yeah.
out the van in Arizona, and I'd never ever witnessed this in my life. Now, the only way I can really describe it to get the idea, set the scene for, both of you have definitely seen Con Air, and you've got, when he's walking down like the runway, and it's like everything's orange or red, like tinted with the heat mirage, and that's what it's like getting out the van to go into the petrol station. I was like, I can't believe I need to go through this like I am fucking Nick Cage just to go for a piss. This is wild.
Fucking
man.
everything in Arizona and New Mexico, everything is beige. The
Facts.
sand, the buildings,
Beige.
everything is fucking
no.
beige.
I played Albuquerque with my other band.
That's right.
We played like this practice space that was run by all the NYDM guys, and that was a fucking amazing gig. The promoter of that gig, he came up to me and was like, "See those trash cans over there, man?" I was like, "Yeah, what about those trash cans?" Like, "Yesterday, I found a dead bitch here." I was like, "Oh, okay."
That's the thing about Albuquerque, man. Don't fuck around in Albuquerque. That's a scary
No.
place.
Oh yeah, this is like my first tour in America with my other band, and I was like 22 at the time, and he just came up and told me that. And I'm from Scotland, so in Scotland you don't really see dead bodies a lot. There's not a lot of, like open kind of.
Well,
Gang
yeah,
warfare.
that's kind of a thing that you don't really see.
Kind of a thing you shouldn't really see
Oh, yeah,
anywhere in
yeah.
the States. But
Yeah.
but
I will say the drug problem in New Mexico, specifically Albuquerque, is really fucking bad. And
It's
so I
just-
wouldn't be
it's the
surprised
way
if
the
that was
guy,
drug
when the
related.
guy told me, he's like, "Are you enjoying it?" He's like, "Are you enjoying Albuquerque?" He's like, "Yeah, man. We went and saw some of the Breaking Bad locations and stuff. It's been cool. Everyone here seems quite nice, and the gig looks like pretty packed."
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Found a dead bitch over there." I was like,
Okay.
"Okay, cool, man." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, when he started telling me this elaborate story about we had to roll her up in a carpet and like take her away somewhere, I was like,
What?
"Oh, yeah, man."
Just like,
Why didn't you
What?
just phone the police?
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck, man?" It's like, okay.
Okay.
Maybe just gonna wipe that from my memory. Try and enjoy the rest of the gig.
Mm-hmm.
This never happened. This
Yeah, it's a
conversation
cool
never
man.
happened.
never
I
happened.
and the guy had like a barbed wire baseball bat next to the front door, and if he wanted to enter the gig, he had like knock the door. He had to enter the gig, and he just had it ready.
Christ.
Hanging out with Negan? Jesus.
Yeah. It's like, cool, man. It was a good vibe. But the gig was amazing. Like, it was literally one of the best gigs I've ever played in my life. But I remember just seeing that. I was like, I'm in a different place right now.
Yeah.
It's,
What a time to be
Uh,
alive.
Great thing
What
about
What a
Southwest.
time to be alive.
future is now. It's like,
Oh man. See, because we're not like kind of going off rails here, but see, because we don't have a lot of guns in the UK, like at all. You see an armed
Yeah.
policeman at the airport, and you're kind of taken aback. Seeing people like open carry and stuff in the States was quite fucking bewildering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't have that in New York. In New
No,
York,
I get it's different state to state.
yeah. Like, I know. Like, America's a different country from the UK. It's like you can't really compare the both because it's like so different. You can't really like be like, oh, this doesn't win. But yeah, but some of the stuff I've seen is like blowing my mind. You'd never see like a weapon in Scotland.
Nope.
Unless you actively look for one, like ever.
Yeah.
Like even like knives and stuff. Like there's like a knife problem in Scotland, but it's so like small in comparison to like say like or like even other places in the UK. Like I have never ever seen someone take a weapon to a gig in Scotland, but when I played America, people had their guns out and were letting me hold them. It was great.
Yeah,
So guys like, have you ever seen a gun
And,
before? No, probably not. He's like, here you go, man. He's like, Yeah, it's like
All I can think of right now is America. America.
Funny
like,
you say
Mark.
that. And I'm thinking about the guy that got stabbed at Valentine's, and that's why we don't
Oh.
have shows of Valentine's anymore.
I was
that a
thinking-
decapitation gig.
Because
Because I remember like seeing a.
I don't think it was.
Valentine's is a very small gig. I don't think
Yeah.
they would have
Right.
had cattle decapitation there. But I
No.
wouldn't be surprised.
There's a video account.
No.
decapitation.
I was actually thinking about that Valentine story as soon as you were like, "Oh yeah, somebody hit a beer out of your hand," when we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Like that's literally how it happened. The guy got hit with a beer in his hand and he fucking stabbed the guy and killed him.
Oh my god! Really?
Yeah.
Like, right outside
Holy
of the venue.
shit.
I kid you not.
Right out of the venue. Literally as soon as he like hit his beer up, he didn't know what a mosh pit was, but he went near it and he
did-
got
yeah.
hit. And like he
You know what
literally
that is?
specifically went after that guy right after the venue and fucking stabbed him outside.
You know what that is? That's an overreaction right there.
Facts.
Like,
A minor
facts.
overreaction.
yeah. But yeah, no, there's a video. I'm sure it's cattle decapitation. They're playing like a floor gig somewhere in the States, and someone gets stabbed with a box cutter, so they have to stop their set, and everyone gets evacuated. It's fucking
I think
madness.
Yeah,
The
I think
box
that was
cutter as well. That's sharp.
yeah. Box cutters are fucking sharp.
Yeah.
I work with a box cutter every single day. Box
Right.
cutters are fucking sharp.
Yeah, fuck that. But yeah, so that was a bit mental. People just let me hold their guns and stuff. Also, they knew what they're doing. They wouldn't just hand a guy a gun who they assumed would go mental, or they could just fire it. Obviously, like, it was not loaded in safety and stuff. But it's the fact that I was like blowing my mind. It's like so different from like playing against Scotland. It's cool, man. Like I love coming to America because everyone's so like friendly towards you in that way. And if you're from like Scotland or something like that, a lot of people will have like Scottish or Irish relatives. So when we went over, they seemed really keen to talk to us about that, and that was really cool. That was really welcoming. That's like really different.
Mhm.
So they seemed quite happy to like show
Yeah,
us
I think
American
more or
things and make
less-
us feel welcome.
Yeah. I think it's more or less you're from a different country. That's probably
Yeah.
more or less because you're completely from a different part of the world. than
Yeah,
we-
Mhm.
it was cool, man. Like I felt really welcomed and really enjoyed it. So every time I go back, it's always fun.
So
And getting to
what
try
I have to
all of
ask,
your
though-
fast food was great
yeah,
too.
it's like the fast
All
food
the
in America is
fast
on
food.
another level. But yeah, there was one game we played. It was in Amarillo in Texas, and we were just there, like the support band were on, and some guy went up and whispered in the singer, and he went, "We're the guys from Scotland. Someone wants to see you." And we're like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" It's a bit strange. But it's like an old guy came over. I can't remember what the story was, but he really cool. He came over.
Scottish family.
Yeah, he shook my hand and he put some money in it. I was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "I've got my granddad's from Scotland, or yeah, my grandfather's from Scotland. It's honor to meet you guys. It's awesome you're here. I really enjoy America. I love Scotland. Yeah, all my heritage from Scotland." He gave some money, made us feel really welcome. Mike went to the bar, and as you can tell, Mike is very Scottish, and he ordered some drinks, and she was like, "I'm going to give you them for free because of your accent." And she's like, "Can you please say my name?"
She kept asking me to say her name over and over again. I think I paid in total about, and I kid you not, maybe $6, and I was drinking Wild Turkey 101 doubles all night.
Oh
That's-
my
yeah.
god.
Yeah,
Those
all night.
fuckers are
I don't think I've
expensive.
spent less
Right.
than six. I don't think I've spent less than $10 at a venue for drinks ever.
And
Well-
it just seemed to be
Yeah.
like, oh, you can have them.
Especially
There
at
you
a
go.
venue.
I know.
Especially at a venue.
It was a cool venue. It was a Zombies Bar and Grill, wasn't it?
yeah. What was it?
Was it
Zombies
not
Bar.
Friends Bar and Grill, but Zombies was a burger place?
Yeah, it was
that
like
was
a
in it?
combination. So it was
Something like that.
Friends, venue, and Zombies Bar. It was cool, whatever it was, man. It was a cool gig.
Mhm.
That was when that guy got thrown into our stack of merch.
That was also when the man asked if we had a 5XL t-shirt and then said that we didn't have real man sizes when we didn't.
Oh no, it was adult sizes. Do you have any like 4XL or 5XL? Any like adult sizes? It's like, I was like, I'm so scared right now. Oh my god.
That reminds
They
me.
don't
Okay, like, but my stepfather always says. He's like, yeah. I mean, he shops for different clothes, and he's not a huge guy by all means. He's not a huge guy, but he's like, yeah, I gotta buy XX fat fuck. Ugh. That just reminds me. It's just XX fat fuck or 5X fat fuck. or something like that. That just reminds me of that.
It's
These
just
men
so
were not
fucking
just
American
heavy,
to say.
but big.
Yeah, they're like
Like frame wise, they were huge. So it wasn't just like weight; they were just big.
Yeah.
Totally like going on a side step here. My brother, he's like really big. He's like I'm 6'1", but he's like 6'4" or 5", and he's like really wide as well. And anytime he goes shopping for clothes in the UK, he lives in New Zealand now, but when in the UK, he has to go to like a specialist big and tall section because they don't make clothes that fit him.
Because we actually in the United States have a big and tall store.
Yeah, that's where he has to go. He has to go like to the specialist. Yeah.
I struggle because I'm about 6'1" as well. So, but being like kind of lanky at the same time, it's fucking hard to find clothes that fit both length and width wise.
Yeah, my only problem is pants, because I'm at a weird fucking pants length and a very specific waist length. That's my problem. I can't find pants exactly like that
Kyle.
when I was a teenager.
Kyle, it's hot topic.
Okay, chill
They
out.
sell your size 28 with the skinny legs. They sell it.
I love how you know my fucking waist size. I love how you
I'm
know
bonding
my
right there.
Just looking at
That's
you.
brotherhood,
Just
man.
looking at you, man. I know. I've been around. Come on. How many times have we shared hotel rooms? Come on.
That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
I could have guessed it long before that.
Also, how many times have we carried each other up a fucking stair set just to get into the fucking room?
I wonder if you guys have
That's
ever
silly.
gone through this with like a drunk bandmate, but like
All the time.
our travel adventures would be kind of ridiculous sometimes. Like we decide, oh, we're drunk as shit. Let's go to McDonald's. And who fucking cares? We're driving the company vehicle drunk. Like no big deal. All right.
No big deal.
No big deal. That's the point.
That's a felony right there.
The best part is the company, when I first started, it didn't have a tracker on it. But when he started, it had a tracker on it. So, like, they would call us up and be like, why is this van going to, like, McDonald's at, like, 2 o'clock in the morning?
It's a really simple answer. So-and-so was drunk and asked me to drive because I wasn't drunk. So that's your explanation.
There's also
But
another
you don't know that
thing.
I was drunk too. But
Like that, let's just say at one point we were in New Jersey at the time, and our rule, me and Pat's number one rule was no drugs. Obviously, no drugs in the van. You can do whatever you want. You can drink, you can smoke. We don't give a shit, but just no fucking drugs at all. So, and also no open containers in the cup
Oh my
holders.
God.
At all.
Yeah,
that's
that
like
was
a
the
given,
main-
though. That's
Yeah,
a given.
that's a given. Just clean up after yourself. So we're sitting there at like, I think it was like fucking 1 o'clock in the morning, Pat, at this time. And we're like, dude, I'm so fucking hungry. And we were like looking at shit. And he's like, dude, I found a fucking pizza joint that's somehow open at 1 o'clock in the morning. Let's fucking go. So we're like, all right, dope. And he looks at me. He's like, Kyle, how drunk are you? And I kind of look at him half cockeyed. And I'm like, I'm fucking drunk. and I'm like,
Scale
what are
1
you?
to 10, about 13.
Yeah,
I'm 13, yes.
fucking
That
13.
was it.
And fucking Pat's like, dude, I can't drive either. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, let's go. So we got into the truck. We got into the fucking van with like 2 other people in the back. No, it was
One
like
of us
3.
drove, Kyle.
See, it's different because I drove there and you
And
drove,
I drove back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember this now.
because we both got when we drove there, you were driving there, and it was so funny because I don't think you remember this, and I actually told this story today to a new coworker of mine.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we're sitting there and we're driving. He's like,
Icebreaker.
yeah. We were talking about our old jobs and funny stories and shit. So so we're sitting there and Pat, it was so fucking funny because I don't think you remember this, but you were driving and you were like, dude, we have so much open containers. This is fucking ridiculous. And it was so funny because in the middle of that, he was taking a drink of alcohol while he was driving. He put in the fucking container. He's like, dude, we can't have this, and fucking takes a sip, and he's like, and I'm like,
have this.
Pat.
Takes a sip,
Yeah.
throws it out the window.
literally throws it out the fucking window or throws it in the back. He's like,
It was definitely out the window.
oh
'Cause
yeah,
It wasn't gonna be in the back. That was my big thing, was like cleanliness inside the van.
Yeah.
But I did
But
throw
drunk
it out
drive
the
it,
window.
you're like okay with.
Yeah.
As long as the van's clean, you can drive it as drunk as you want.
And also, it was so funny too because
I don't think I realized how
went
hammered I was. I think I was just
no.
convinced that like I was
You were
fine.
fucking gone. Both of us were gone. All 4 of us were gone that was in the van. And that was the day that you brought firecrackers in the fucking van.
What's
So-
wrong with you guys? It's like this gets worse and worse. As if
No,
drunk
no.
driving's not bad enough. You got like fucking fireworks
Yeah.
in the van.
The best part
Listen,
is- the
guys,
best part
we
is-
warned you. We
Yeah.
warned you how fucked up this would get.
You guys can't come and tour with us. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was like, if we play Albany, I'm doing the driving. 'Cause, like, I don't drink, so I'm allowed to drive. Like,
The best
Oh,
part
shit.
is the best part is we both drive better drunk. Like that's the worst part because we're
No,
more
no, no.
cautious of what's going on. That's
I've
the
heard
worst
that
part.
story, but that can't be true. Like,
No.
no, right.
I don't drive better drunk. I don't drive better drunk. I drive better stoned.
Right.
That
I have
makes
a
more sense.
friend used to claim that, and I've seen him drive sober, and I've seen him drive stoned, and they're both appalling. so, like, man, like, see, I don't approve of like drunk driving or stoned driving. I think that's bad.
No,
but,
me either.
yeah,
But
since I don't drink, like I've got no problem with people drinking stuff. I just drive myself everywhere. I know what people do. I know people are like. I've got friends that wouldn't trust me to drive sober, so like fuck it.
Yeah.
It's just easier if I drive myself. You guys can be as drunk as you want. You can get in my car if you want. You can like
Yeah.
open container things all along in the UK. So make as much mess if I can be drunk. Just get
Well,
in my car sober, drive.
yeah.
We'll be fine.
get
Have a good
complete-
night.
yeah, to get completely off topic, we're gonna continue with that story in a second. But I have another story that
Nice.
proves that I'm a better driver when I'm drunk.
Sure.
That
Okay.
proves.
Sure.
Well, let's see your evidence here. I'll
My
run it
old
through like a
boss-
fucking T
Yeah,
sample
my-
and see if it's like
Yeah.
statistically significant.
my old boss at the time, you know who it was. When I crashed my truck and I had to live with her for about a couple of weeks, Pat.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
So
Your
I
boss.
crashed my truck at in the winter going to work, but I didn't have a time.
drunk?
It was like
Drunk
I
you
said,
crashed.
no, I was not drunk. It was 3 o'clock
Okay,
in the
it was-
morning.
So,
It was
so if you're
3 in the
taking-
morning. He was
taking-
definitely sober.
It was
Right.
3 in the morning. I was definitely sober, and I hit black ice, but that's a completely different story.
So if
Um,
you've only ever crashed while you're sober and you've never crashed while you're drunk, I can see
I've-
why you think right when you're drunk.
But anyway, so we're sitting there, and I was drunk. I definitely was drunk, and she's like, "Oh, let's go to like Stewart's or something." And I was like, "All right, I'll." Didn't even realize that I was driving. She had no idea that I was driving until like we got to her house, back to her house. And I'm sitting there and I'm driving and shit like that. We almost pull into her driveway, and she's like, "Kyle, wait a minute. You're drunk." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, oh shit, I am drunk. She's like, "You drive so much better when you're drinking." And I was like, "Thank you."
Oh my God.
But anyway,
Take
let's
that
go
from
back
a person
to
who
the
was
story.
also sober or like completely fucked up, but didn't realize you were driving until literally the moment you got there.
Well, also, she wasn't drinking. She wasn't drinking at the time. So
Is this your
she's just
crackhead ex?
No, this was no way.
Crackhead X. What the fuck, man?
This was No, our boss. This was our
Oh,
boss.
this is Noel.
You know how she is. She's oblivious to shit until later on.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're going back. After we got our pizza, we went to a gas station. We got to get more beer. Let's go. So we grab more beer. We get back into the fucking van, and Pat's like, "Oh wait, I'm drunk. Kyle, you drive." Okay. So we're driving in the most ghetto fucking place in New Jersey. Period. The most
Oh my God.
hood, the most
It's all
hood
coming back to
fucking
me.
place. Yeah, the most hood place in the world. And Pat's like, "All right, I'm gonna open this fucking box, have another beer." Cracks one open, starts drinking. He's like, "You know what? I got a good ass idea." Rolls down the window, and he's like, "I got these firecrackers that sound like fucking gunshots in the fucking hood." So he's
That's
like,
probably not a good idea anywhere.
so he's,
I would say that's a bad idea.
the best part is, like, I didn't notice that he was doing it. I just heard a
Pop, pop, pop.
pop, pop.
They're,
And
they're the
I'm
little ones. The little ones
Yeah,
with
the
the
little-
twist offs at the end that like as soon as you throw them, they go pop.
Oh my God,
So
man.
we're- And I didn't notice it. I thought I was like running over something. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And then he saw a bunch of, I swear to God, they were gang members. To this day, I guarantee you they were gang members. I swear to God. Swear to God. And Pat's like, I got a good idea. Fucking put a handful in his fucking hand as we were driving and fucking smashed them on the ground. And everybody jumped into the bushes like they were a drive-by. It was fucking...
You're on a different level over there, man.
In a company vehicle.
This is sanity.
Yeah.
In
I
a
don't fuck with
company
people with guns.
vehicle.
I'm not into that. That's crazy.
I mean, like you're.
In a company vehicle that says who we work for and the number on the back.
And the phone number.
That's it.
There's literally a sticker on the back that says, "How are we driving? Please call this phone number if you have any concerns."
Hello, I am very concerned. I have many concerns about the driving right now.
They literally just, your employees just drive by us and tried to kill us with guns.
I would say not only is that a jailable offence, that's probably a sackable offence as well. Sorry, a fireable offence. That's got
Definitely.
involuntary redundancy written all over it.
Yep.
At least you can now agree we're good to party with.
Got some stories anyway.
At least I know that
We
I'm
got
going to
a
get some
lot of
chicken
stories.
nuggets if I get really drunk.
Yeah, that's taken care of at least. I had a mate back in Scotland. He joined the Navy, and for some reason, everyone I know who joins the Navy comes back a little bit cracked. I don't know what it is. I think it's the lack of authority on land. But it was weird. I think it was a different type of Navy. He was kind of doing like aid work, but it was a different type of Navy. He kind of went there and he was doing all this cool shit. When he came back, and he was like young and loads of money, because when you're like out in the Navy, you don't spend any money. He get paid
Exactly.
well, I guess. But he came back. He had this really fancy car, and he texted me, "Hey man, not in high school. Do you want to meet up on Friday?" He's like, "Yeah, let's go, man." He's like, "Awesome." Saw a picture of him on Facebook and stuff. He looked really cool. He's all like in shape, really strapping. I met him on Friday. It was like wire all over his head. It was like kind of like frame, and it was like neck cast and stuff. And it was all like, fucked up. And I was like, "Hey man, what happened? Like, you posted a picture of yourself 2 days ago and you didn't look like this. Something happened to you." So you want to talk about? And he's like, "Yeah. So basically, I got really drunk with a friend, and we drove my really expensive car. He had some kind of like Audi. He was driving around really fast, really drunk. Also setting fireworks off like the sunroof and stuff.
What
Turned
the
lights on, and
fuck?
like big ones. Like they're quite expensive in the UK as well, because I don't know, like, anything that's dangerous in the UK is like really expensive.
Anything
Well,
that brings joy in the
You
UK.
can't get fireworks in New York. You can't get the real fucking fireworks because they're illegal in New York.
They're illegal, really.
Well,
Technically,
that's-
yes.
the
Right.
good
Depending
ones. You
on
can get,
which
like,
ones you get.
snakes, and you can get
Yeah.
like, the little poppers. The like good
Other than
fireworks
that-
you have to pay an arm and a leg for.
Yeah, you have to go to fucking you have to go to Massachusetts and then come down to back to New York and sell them. Like you could spend $300 in Massachusetts and then come back to New York and get like $1,000 back for selling them.
Fact.
This happens in a TV show. They smuggle, I can't remember what it is, but they smuggle fireworks over the border, and it's like really big ones. I can't remember what
Yeah.
fucking what.
Simpsons?
It might have been The Simpsons.
Probably.
It has
South
been
Park.
Simpsons.
That's it. Yeah, it might. There's an episode of South Park. I've not watched South Park in years. I kind of fell off that wagon, but there's
Yeah,
a really
me
old
either.
episode.
So
Yeah,
I
when it's a really old episode. There's the one where they playing I think it's the one where playing a brown note, and they get a giant like snake
Yep.
firework that goes off.
yeah,
I definitely
yeah,
remember that one.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I remember.
I like the old ones.
Yeah, I prefer the old ones as well. I feel like the current ones are just too topical. It's like not really a joke. It's just kind of this is a
Yeah.
thing that's happened. There's not really a story to it. But anyway. So my mate, he was like driving around and he was like firing these big fireworks. That was fucking. It wasn't even like there was like fireworks season in the UK. Like around about now would be fireworks season. It's like Guy Fawkes night, but it was like some random point in summer. He was like set off fireworks from his roof, like really big ones. Ones you have to light with a stick and like set them off like that. And then he's like, "I've got a good idea," and he turned all the lights off in his car, so he couldn't see anything. He's going on his back road, and he said he went at least 80 miles an hour into a wall, just like straight in. He said he hit his face off like the dashboard. His mate was hanging on the sunroof and kind of like had to be like a spine like cast and stuff.
oh my god,
Just
oh
absolutely fucked up. They had like reattached the shot. I was like, wow. So in the space of like 4 days since you messaged me, you've done this to yourself.
you almost died.
it's like, what
You
the fuck, man?
almost died. That's pretty much what it was.
Christ, man, it's
Holy
like,
shit.
was like, what have you learned from this? He's like, oh, not much. He's like, I'm probably gonna do it again. He's like, fuck, man. It's like,
That is dumb. Like, that is flat out dumb. Like, that is flat out. Like,
that's insane.
there's a saying, never go full retard. That is full fucking retard. Like,
Tropic
that,
Thunder quote
smart.
right there. Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Don't go blackface and don't go full retard.
yeah.
Exactly.
See in the UK, if you say that word, some people kind of take offense to it. But I had a girlfriend from Lithuania, and she used to keep saying it, but she didn't quite realize what she was saying to people, and people looked really, really shocked.
Yeah.
She used to always use that exact phrase, and people were like,
I mean,
just
it's also kind of like, it's kind of the word of cunt. In Europe,
yeah,
you say it all the fucking time. But in America, it's fucking terrible.
oh yeah, totally, man. Like, do you know an Australian band called Disentomb?
Yes.
I
Yes.
do not, but he does, yes.
Yeah,
No. I'm not extremely familiar with them, but I know the band name.
But yeah, so we know those guys pretty well, and we both played Buried Death Fest in 2015. And as soon as I saw Jordan, he was like, "All right, you good cunt." He's like, "Fuck yeah, cunt. How's it going?" We're just calling each other like cunts the whole time, and that's completely acceptable in the UK and Australia.
Yeah.
And people around us are like, turn around like, "Did he just say that? Did he say that?" Like people are killing themselves laughing. Like, say it again, and like, fuck, what have we done? What have we done?
A little lesson in languages when it comes to the word cunt. In Scotland, if you say cunt, so not a sharp T, you're generally just talking. You'd say some cunt, talking about a person. That person is some
kind
cunt.
of like a collective of people. Like,
Yeah. You would even be called a good. He's a good cunt. As like a term of endearment, right? If you say cunt with a sharp T, or you sharpen like you really like enunciate it, that's when things are bad. So
All
there's
right,
a complete
so
difference
that's
between
just like the
that
N
cunt-
word.
Let me
that
get this
cunt.
straight. Let me get this straight. So if you're like, Pat, you're a good cunt. Or if it's, Pat, you're a fucking cunt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even add
That's
the
it.
fucking.
Literally that.
You just say you're a good cunt or yeah cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really say it too much because it's kind of like Scottish slang, and I'm not actually from Scotland. I came over from Ireland, and I kind of grew up with like Irish people and stuff, so I don't really talk with like Scottish slang much. But it's kind of like a slang thing. Like it's just kind of.
Well, Irish people do that too. I know somebody from Ireland that says cunt a lot too. So I'm
Yeah, totally. It happens there, but
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I was a bit isolated from that kind of thing when I grew up, but I kind of got used to it. But,
I can't help but wonder where Luke Griffin's from, because I know that with
He's
him
from-
being,
he's from London, kind
He's
of
from
Greater
London?
London area. Yeah, kind of great.
the word cunt is like all over his lyricism.
Yeah, totally.
It's fucking everywhere.
Yeah, it's a bit different. Like, in Scotland, it's really kind of normal. In England, it's probably a bit more offensive. I don't know about Wales. I don't know that many Welsh people, but yeah, in Scotland, it's just it's like a colloquialism. I remember like talking to like parasitic ejaculation. And they're really kind of like liberal guys, and we're on tour with them. And someone said, it's like an American guy said cunt, and they're all kind of taken back. It's like, oh man, he shouldn't have said that. Then I was like, we're talking about it's a bit different in Scotland. I get like in other places it's like a really sexist word, and I think you should use that in a context. And if you are saying that like about women and stuff, that's kind of fucked up. But in the connotation in Scotland is a bit different. It's kind of bastardized in a way. So it's like we've kind of taken it and used it for something else. So when it's said, like, it's not its actual meaning. It's just kind of yeah.
It's also so familiar that it loses that.
People in my office say it. That's a government office. And,
I used to say that
so,
when I had an office job, though.
So it's so weird, man. It's so I don't even know how it happened, how it got to that stage, but it's so ingrained in Scottish slang that no one takes offense to it. But I guess if you tried to offend someone with it, you could. But it's so bizarre. It's such like a weird thing to happen.
It's the same thing with the N word over in New York, in
It's
United
funny
States.
you say that. I was just thinking that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
as
You were
long
saying
as you
that.
don't end it on a hard R sound, then you're fine. At least to
As
some
long as
degree.
you have an A, you're fine. But
Ish.
obviously,
Skin tone takes
skin
is,
tone is very.
I'm not
very,
touching that one with a barge pole now.
I would.
was like
I
off
wouldn't.
the table for discussion. I
Yeah,
think you just
we
shouldn't
talked
say
about
that
this
at all, man.
before the fucking
We did.
recording.
Yeah.
We talked
We
about this
did.
before the recording. But yeah, that's basically what cunt is. But it's different for the United States with the N-word. It's different.
So now I'm curious: will there be a Party Cannon song with that in the song title?
Probably not, man. That's not really their vibe. I don't think Stoney really has swear words in the lyrics as well.
No, I can't really think of anything where he's anything but
I kind of
poetic.
yeah. I'm gonna sound really old right now, but I kind of find swearing in metal a little bit cheesy.
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah,
I mean, like if you're just trying to fill a certain space so that you hit it a certain way, then like I get it. But at the same time, I definitely get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I also don't really listen to I don't really listen out to lyrics that much. But if someone's like just saying like "motherfucker" all the time over songs, and like I don't know,
Lazy.
yeah, I guess like I really like Dying Feet is like one of my favorite bands ever. But the lyrics on Killing and Adrenaline are hilarious. He's always said like "motherfucker" and stuff. It's just like it's just like it's funny, man. Yeah, I feel like swearing has lost its edge. That fucking makes sense.
Especially here in America, because people like, in public they make it sound like it's a big deal, but when you get around the right group of people here in America, they will say the most offensive. Like they will open up a conversation with a dead baby joke. Like it's really hard to be offensive here in America.
Yeah. It
is, but it's not, because there's some people that are just like take offense to fucking everything, like every little teensy bit of a thing. So, yes and no.
I guess just in the UK, like humor is quite dark. Like, I think the UK has like a really high rate of depression because like there's like no sunlight and stuff. That's probably quite an ignorant statement, quite a broad one, but humor in the UK is quite self-deprecating as a whole. So like if you watch like British TV shows, it's always kind of depressing. The characters are always making jokes at their own expense. The humor kind of comes from like a sad situation, but they kind of like if you watch like the show called Peep Show, everything about that is like depressing and like awkward and bad. But
and hilarious.
But it's hilarious. It's like it's kind of
so
relatable.
They kind of that reminds me of what we have in New York, in the United States. Pete Davidson actually has had a father that died on 9/11, and that's his whole fucking joke. Is his father died
really?
on 9/11? Yeah,
Well, that's intense.
that's his literal
intense.
That's his whole fucking comic gimmick. He's like, I'm glad my father died on 9/11 because I was 7, so I got a PS2 for it. Your dad died. Here's a PS2. So yeah, so it was.
It's almost not even a joke.
Yeah. So he's a very controversial comic. Yeah, he's a very controversial comic.
You can say that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
But I can see, especially in America, I can see why it would be like controversial.
Yeah, especially because he's from New York. So
man.
So his dad died as a firefighter on 9/11. So
it's not even like you worked in the trade center.
No.
You were a firefighter.
He was trying to save people.
Yeah. You're a fucking hero. But
and
he's bastardize you. Just
I think his one joke that really caught me off guard. It was like, I'm happy they died on 9/11 because I get his uniforms and shit. So I'm in public smoking weed, and an old lady comes up to me and says, "You're a fucking disgrace." And I turn around and says, "You're a fucking disgrace." And he's like, "Oh, wait, I'm a lieutenant in the fucking fire department. Have a good day, ma'am."
That is mad. That is...
Yeah.
That's like a new level of...
But I suppose
it's a new level.
If there's anyone who's going to get away with making jokes about people dying in 9/11, it's someone whose family member has died in 9/11.
Yeah.
Like, it's as close as relatable as you can get.
Yeah.
I feel like now is the right point where you just flash. Now that's what I call edgy.
Yeah. So that actually is edgy. Like I find like people who make like dead baby jokes and stuff like that, they're just like trying to.
Those are my favorite jokes. I'm sorry. Those are
no. I get.
I do feel like dead baby jokes have some taste, so long as they're not. Oh, what's the difference between a Cadillac and 20 dead babies? I don't have a Cadillac in my garage. Yeah.
No,
it's like, okay, that's clever.
I like the ones that are fucking like absolutely ridiculous. What's the difference between a table and a dead baby? You can't fuck a table. Like what? Like what? Wait a minute.
I think
What
Wait a
gets louder as it gets smaller?
Oh god.
A dead baby going through a blender feet first. That's the thing. Like, there can be good dead baby jokes, but there can also be dead baby jokes. And
It's
like,
also like, yeah, it's like, how do you make a dead baby float?
no.
Like just
No.
yeah, okay.
No.
We're not going there.
Right,
It's the same thing. Like, yeah, it's
I
like
have a 2-year-old. I have some level of like chill when it comes to this.
yeah, it's like
Speaking
how
as
do
a
you make?
parent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
speaking-
as a
speaking as a
parent, I
father.
can only appreciate certain dead baby humor.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the sexual ones, you might as well just kill me before you tell me the punchline.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I mean, like my kind of impression of it was like when I talk to people and they kind of make them like feel they're trying a little bit too hard to be edgy. Like I feel
yeah.
things like that, like the ridiculousness of it. I get why people find it funny, but like people who just try really hard to be edgy, and are not edgy, it's just kind of cringeworthy. That's kind of not edgy. It's
Yeah.
I feel like
It's
the
like-
intention of this podcast
Yeah.
is to somewhat ride the line.
Yeah. Like I like we also in this podcast about pedophilia, we do not like pedophilia at all.
The-
Pedophilia
It goes back to like we're going back to like the hardcore bands who go on stage
Yeah,
like
I
fuck
mean
pedophiles. It's like, I mean, he's right, but everyone already agrees
Yeah.
to that. So it's like,
because like I laugh at this one joke that my stepfather told me, and I fucking hate pedophilia jokes, and I hate like they're funny, but they're just like I wouldn't have it like if it happened right in front of me, I'd fucking kill him. But it's like my stepfather's like, hey, you want to hear a stupid ass joke? I'm like, okay, what is it? He's like, so I was ramming this girl in the ass, right? And then I like shoved it right in her mouth, and she's like, how did you know? That was very presumptuous of how you liked that I liked ass to mouth. And he's like, presumptuous? That's a pretty big word for a fucking 7-year-old. And I'm like, what the fuck?
well, thing for your fucking stepdad to say to you, man.
My stepfather is a very different human being. He's a very
Like-
different
I
human
think
being.
what this really says is a lot about his mom's taste in men.
I guess
At the risk
Um,
of like really going for the vein
Yeah.
with that, like I'm just putting that out there, Kyle.
my
I mean-
dad is like. My dad is like 64. I can't imagine him saying anything like that.
Yeah.
He was like a veterinary surgeon. He's like,
Yeah.
it's just fucking-
Like it's yeah, they're like I have the fucked up family, like the drunken family, and then I have like a drunken family, but they're funny. Like it's no in between. It's like the only difference is one of them's funny and the other one's just a fucking asshole. It's like
The salt of the fucking
Yeah.
earth, literally.
so, like,
yeah,
Well, the thing is, humor's the same as music. Like it's art. Art is all subjective, and you have to push
Facts.
the boundary. People are always going to make sick jokes about things that other people are going to get upset about, and obviously context makes a big difference. But
oh yeah.
you're never going to stop people finding things funny.
I guess they don't find the actual act of these things funny. They find the like shocking nature of it funny.
That's it.
They
Something
understand
is-
it's like wrong
Yeah.
and stuff.
Something is so horrendously unfunny that makes it funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's chasing that taboo.
Yeah. You can't really police humor that way as well. What's funny to other people isn't like funny to you and stuff. But,
So as a band like Party Cannon, I imagine that there is because you've mentioned like this library of samples that you guys have talked about using in songs.
Mhm.
Could you list a couple examples of samples that you guys have talked about doing, but even you guys have thought like maybe this is a bit too much?
I don't think we've ever had that because, as we said before, a lot of the samples that we send to each other aren't like this is extreme or check this out, it's quite edgy. It's usually just fucking stupid. Like Tim and Eric, like samples of Tim and Eric saying like stupid shit to each other, and like Nathan for you, or you know what I mean, like genuinely just brainless humor. Nothing that's like completely cerebral or contextually horrible, like quotes with horror films or murder trials or any of that shit. It's just stupid shit that we find funny that other people might not, and we're like, so what? It's fucking stupid.
I mean, clearly there's some success to be found from that. I mean, you guys are touring the world, but
worked all right.
Right. So with that said, I mean, there has to be. I can't help but wonder what some of these samples are that we might hear, maybe even like 10 years down the line.
It's just mostly like, I don't know, I really like B movies, like really gory, like B movies, like trauma films and that kind of idea, or like Italian
Toxic
horror
Avenger,
films.
etc.
Yeah, stuff like that. I like to quote things from them, like 80s movies and stuff. Like British TV shows are usually a good one because they're quite alien to a lot of people, but they're quite really absurd in certain ways, and you can have like list it over and over again to really grasp how absurd some like the humor is.
Yeah, so we've got a few examples from Peep Show, but you could quote that TV program for like 10 albums worth of just no context, absolute madness sentences.
Or,
like in one of the episodes, they burn a dog alive by accident, and they take the remains of the dog onto a boat, and the owner of the dog is the owner of the boat, and she's like, "What the fuck have you got there? Is that my dog?" And he goes, "No, it's a beautiful turkey," and he starts eating the dog's leg.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, like that kind of. It's just turkey. It's delicious turkey. Like that kind of shit's super fucked up.
Yeah.
But
so it's like it's like exactly like that one movie. I don't know if you guys have it in the UK, but Dumb and Dumber. Do you know that movie?
Totally, man.
Yeah,
it's like that fucking. It's like the fucking Lloyd's bird that got its head torn off. That got his head torn off, and he's like, "Yeah, you sold my dead bird to a blind kid? Lloyd, he didn't have a head. Harry, I took care of it," and it's literally the kid, like, pretty bird, petting the bird with fucking duct taped head on the fucking body.
Yeah. Exactly that kind of shit. Stuff that's like so absurd and potentially offensive, but only offensive if you don't get that it's a complete parody of something that would just not happen. Like, it's so uncanny valley away from normality that you don't get it. Like, have you guys ever seen the TV show? It's a British TV show called Extras with Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais plays like a down and out actor, right? He's quite successful. He's got a comedy career and stuff, but he plays like a down and out extras actor, and all these famous people are in each episode, and he gets to be in like their new film or an episode of TV that they're in, and it's all these absurd meetings he has with these people. Like, one of the episodes he meets David Bowie in a club. His TV shows went like viral, and David Bowie comes in and throws him out the VIP, and then starts singing a song about him, improv, calling him like a fat little sad man, and like that kind of shit. Like, it's fucking incredible, but like in context, you maybe wouldn't get it. There was one I sent to the guys from that. If you're really gunning to hear like an example.
I know what you meant, yeah.
And it's, I want to say Natalie Portman, but I don't think it's Natalie Portman. It's Kate Winslet, sorry, right? So a famous female actress. A famous actress. And there's a bit where like Ricky Gervais's character is talking to his best friend, who's another extra, and she's texting about how her boyfriend, or telling him about her boyfriend wants him to send sexts, and she doesn't find it comfortable. And then Kate Winslet just appears out of nowhere and starts giving this advice, and she's like, "Tell him that you're absolutely sodding wet and you're fudding yourself daft right now," and like these absurd things that famous people would never say, or that you can't imagine them being in that situation. And like, it's just that kind of stupid shit.
Yeah, the word fudding.
Fudding is great.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. Like, I
don't even know what fudding means.
Fudding means masturbating. Fud is like a slang term for a vagina.
Okay.
Fudding myself daft.
I don't think people say that, though. I don't think everyone actually uses the term fudding.
They probably don't, and that makes it even more absurd.
That's a word I would see come across a text message less often than I would hear you say it on the phone or something.
Yeah.
Oh, like, fud is a very unusual word even in Scotland, and it used to be pretty much the second word of everyone's fucking mouths. I swear to God, it's all insults and swear words. It's the majority of the conversation pieces here.
Scottish dialect is pretty colourful in some places.
Mm-hmm. Hence why cunts became such a popular normal word.
Yeah.
It's normalised.
So strange, man. Yeah, so going back to that, way back to what we're talking about.
Going back to
When
con.
Yeah, when I ran to like
Yeah.
the Australian guys at Barry Death Fest, and we're all just saying it, like people were turning around like shocked, they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, yeah, that's not like it's not like an acceptable, it's not like a normal thing to say here." And I get that, like totally, like connotation there is like way different, and that's understandable. But people are like, "Can you say that again? I can't believe you said that." It's like, oh, holy shit! It's like,
Yeah.
Fucking A, man. You know, I think we're creeping up towards like 2.5 hours on this
yeah,
podcast.
it's sick of that, man. It's getting there.
Yeah.
This has
It's
been a
gonna be one of our
surprisingly long
longest.
episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I
one of
think
our
this
longest.
is our
interviews.
longest episode.
Yeah,
Well,
we have a habit of
interview,
doing that.
I should say.
Yeah, we have a habit of doing that. We're on another like kind of vlog type thing in Scotland recently, and it'll be like an hour long. The guys like these are usually 10 minutes. Like fucking just talk shit the whole time. Man.
Yeah, I think
Oh, no,
you
that's
guys
the thing.
kind of get
When
us
me and
just
Kyle get
talking.
going, man, you could just keep us going for hours.
Oh my
And
god!
sometimes
Good,
we
it's a
don't
good
realize
podcast.
how long it's going until we
Yeah.
see the little timer up there that says, "Oh shit, it's almost 3 hours."
Yeah, man. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up.
I
since
was-
it's fucking
I was
10
actually
PM.
going to comment on that. Actually, I was actually going to comment. I was like, "Oh fuck," because I realized my phone was like, "Hey, asshole, you're at 5%," and I'm like, "All right, let me charge it." And I accidentally hit my fucking screen, and I was like, "Oh, we're almost at 3 hours. Holy shit! Okay, holy
It's been a
fuck.
pleasure. 3 good hours.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Oh,
It's been
absolutely.
interesting.
This has been
definitely.
nothing but fun.
So we'll wrap this up. Split CD just came out with Parasitic Ejaculation, Bloodscribe, and Gorevent. That's out on Gorehouse Productions right now. We've got a new merch up for pre-order right now. We've got a new album coming out next year. Can't give you too many details on that, but it's going to happen next year. And we're returning to America in July. We're going to play West Coast, and we're going to start on the West Coast and work our way east. That's what we're doing in July. That's all the details I can give you
They're
about
going to
that.
go to Albany, New York. They're going to go to Albany, New York.
Fingers crossed or Albany.
Fingers crossed. I just want to leave on one parting statement. I just want to say, buy our shit or you are a boomer.
Did you say
No,
buy
you-
our
you
shit
should've
or
said-
you're a boomer?
Yes.
Fuck,
I would have
yes.
the new fucking meme. I would have immediately said, since we were talking about the word cunt, I would have literally been
You're
like,
a cunt.
buy our merch or you're a fucking cunt.
But Kyle, the
Did you
new
buy a
edgy
merch?
thing is to say that people are boomers even when they're
That's
not.
a fact.
It's a fucking hate crime now.
Even better, you
Oh
can just say, okay, boomer. That's how dismissive it can be. And
Yeah.
see if you
Yeah.
really want to be super offensive, just so they don't understand it, because no one really understands anyway. As you say it, then you dab. Okay, boomer.
Wow. That is awful.
Oh my
That's the worst thing I've seen in a long time.
Chris is offended. I wasn't even saying it to him.
I was like gravitationally offended.
It's like, I'm offended for my forefathers.
I'd be even more offended if you fucking flossed. I would have been even more fucking pissed. I'd be
Yeah.
like, all right, the interview's over. All right.
I'd like to try, but I can't. I'm too overweight.
How does that?
Oh.
It doesn't matter if you're
Weight has
overweight. You
nothing to
can
do with it.
floss.
And I will say, there's a kid that goes to Crossgates very regularly at Crossgates Mall who just hangs out inside of where, you would see mannequins and stuff, and he just hangs out there flossing. Like,
What the fuck?
And they don't kick him out.
the kid's got to be like 8 years old, and he does it almost every time I'm at the mall.
Fuck
Well,
it. I mean, if he's 8 years old, okay, whatever.
What are they going to
Wait,
do?
what's the mall called? Did you say Crossgates?
Crossgates Mall.
It's pretty much
Crossgates-
Albany.
Yeah, Crossgates is the name of a village that's like up the road from where I live. Like if you drive 5 minutes from Dunfermline, there's a village of Crossgates.
Well, when you said Malta, Malta is like 5 minutes away from where I live.
Yeah.
Oh, really? There's a Moscow about 10 minutes away from where we are right now.
Yeah.
Moscow, Scotland.
There's also a California, Scotland.
There's a California, Scotland. There's a Compton, England.
There's a Phoenix, New York.
There's a Phoenix, New
There's
York.
a Phoenix, New York. Like,
Phoenix Nights was a TV program in the UK.
There you go.
and it was a really bad
These
comedy.
names don't mean anything. They just mean
No.
what you allow it to mean.
Yeah.
What they mean is that everybody copies each other,
Yeah.
Nova Scotia means New Scotland.
and it's nothing like Scotland.
Yo, my favorite venue back in 2010 was Bogies, which was on New Scotland Road in Albany.
Really? Oh, wow.
Bogies.
Fucking fight me.
The word bogey in Scotland means like snot, so like a solid snot is a bogey.
You call that a bogey. We call that a cigarette. But don't you guys call a cigarette a faggot or
No,
a fag?
no.
Not a faggot, called fag.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Not
that's
a
one mistake.
faggot, Pat.
Fag.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't come from that. It's
That
not. a snot.
reminds me. It was because on Twitch.
That's how that happened as well. Like,
Yeah, it's funny because like on Twitch you're not allowed to say faggot. On Twitch you're not allowed to say faggot at all, or it would get banned and all that other shit.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah.
I
So
think a lot of people don't like
somebody.
to call it there.
Yeah. So somebody put in like a chat said, what do you call a cig in fucking Scottish or Scotland or in Ireland or whatever? And then some guy cleverly wrote a fucking cig. A fucking cig.
That's
I
pretty
was
good.
like, yes.
That's pretty...
See, that's a loophole. It's a
Yeah.
workaround.
I don't know why that's a
Exact-
thing. Why people UK call them that?
Like fags, don't know.
Yeah, that's really strange.
Because in the United States, a fag is either gay or a bundle of sticks.
But I mean, well,
Yeah, you get meatballs, you get pork faggots in the UK, and
What?
It's like, yeah, it's just like a meatball called a pork faggot.
Mr. Brian and Mr. Brains pork faggots.
Yeah.
Thanks the brand.
Okay.
Oh my
hold
god.
on. If there is an actual package of this, I need you guys to send a picture
Hold
of
on.
that shit to me.
They're doing it
I
right now.
need it.
Yeah, like I'm not joking.
Pork faggot.
Hold on.
I think I've got it
There
here.
we go. Tesco. They've got them in stock right now. £1. They're rated 2.3 stars.
Faggots are meatballs made from minced up cuts.
No fucking way. No fucking way.
Straight from the Tesco
Send
website.
that
Yeah.
shit to me.
Are these not a thing in the US?
No.
It
No.
just means a meatball, but
Yeah,
they're
it's
the
like-
only company
It
that use
is
that term.
very offensive in the United States. Faggot
No,
is
I-
very offensive in the
it's-
United States.
It's like offensive to call people that here as well. If you go up and call someone that's like an insult, and yeah, it's like not cool. But
Let me just explain, right?
it's
Straight
really,
from Wikipedia.
right.
Faggots are
Wikipedia.
meatballs made
A
from
very
minced
trusted
off
source.
cuts and offal, especially pork, traditionally pig's heart, liver, fatty belly meat or bacon, together with herbs for flavouring and sometimes added breadcrumbs. It's a traditional dish in the United Kingdom. I don't think it fucking is. I've never had one.
Yeah, like I've never had one either.
Especially south and mid Wales and the English Midlands.
Yeah, that's fucking mad, isn't it?
There's just a
sounds
picture
like-
here, right? And it just looks like mince and peas and potatoes and gravy. And right above it just says faggot. Out of context, that would look so bad.
Yeah. Like,
Oh yeah.
So, if any of the
Oh my
listeners
fucking
have
god.
had this dish, send us an email to the newmusicpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear all about this meal. I know it's
Like,
not
that
music
sounds
related,
like-
but we
that
need to
l-
know.
That literally
just-
sounds like the baloney of the United Kingdom. Like baloney is
Yeah.
literally
I guess it
with
just like cuts off.
everything.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there's a disclaimer. We don't endorse calling people that and stuff, and
Yeah, of course
homophobia
not.
is bad.
We don't
we're
know.
like against that. It's just colloquialisms are weird and how.
Yep.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. But yeah. Weird, man.
Languages
food
are
is strange. Food is a
All of
strange
us are like at a loss for words on that.
Yeah,
shit right
that's-
there.
It's a real
Fucking
thing. I
God.
remember seeing it for the first time ever in a freezer in the supermarket. Like, there is no way that is a real product.
Here's a good one. I know we're trying to leave, but you're just going to. We drove past a place in Oregon called Wanker's Corner.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't think you guys use the word wanker, but wanker here is just like.
We do not very often
No.
at all.
It's just like if you're like a prick, you're just like a fucking.
You know,
Yeah, it's just
you
like.
fucking wanker.
Yeah.
You
So
fucking wanker. Yeah.
we drove past a place called Wanker's Corner. I was like, Mike, that's your dad's house. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
we're all in complete disbelief, like taking pictures of the sat nav. Like, is that really what it was called? Is that Wanker's Corner?
Like, John, can you pull over and get pictures here?
Maybe we
Yeah.
don't understand what an A and an E are. This cannot seriously say wankers.
No, but like a wankers, as far as I know, is not like an actual dictionary word. It's just like a slang insult in the UK. So the fact is like printed, and you can go to a place called Wanker's Corner in America. It's like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I guess like most insults and stuff are misappropriated words. Like you said, faggot is a bundle of sticks, and that's now become like a homophobic slur. So
Yeah.
it's like, so maybe wanker was something, but that became something else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no idea, man.
Well, it's the
Language is
same
fun.
thing. It's the same thing with the N word. Like now, it's terrible back in the day, and then now it's well, obviously if you don't use the hard R, but now it's just everybody just says it now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. It's probably still a very terrible thing to say to people.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
I think a lot of people would not be happy if you used that. So
There's only one
Well,
worse term
yeah.
than that, and it's boomer.
apparently-
Apparently.
There's
Sorry,
only
that's
one white
right
person
now.
that yeah, both of us only know one white person that can ever say that fucking word.
Mikey.
And we worked with him. Fucking Mikey Mike.
Mikey.
Mikey
Mikey's
Mike.
the only person who can pull out a black card without anybody in the room questioning him, whether they
Like,
know
There's
him
only
or
one
not.
person I've met
anybody.
who has argued that he has the right to because he grew up in a neighbourhood with black people, and it was just everyone was like, no, that doesn't give you any privilege to say that
yeah, that's a
at
bit of a-
all.
that's
You're the whitest
tenuous.
guy on the planet.
That is yeah,
I mean,
that's-
you would say. I mean, you could say that to Mikey, but he's like you can't argue with Mikey. Like,
I just don't think anybody wins in that argument.
no.
I think everyone's a loser. You're
There's
throwing
nothing
racial
but
slurs around.
Yeah.
So before we end the episode, one more fucking question for me because I always ask
Go ahead.
this to all the interviewers that we use that we talk to. Say, Party Cannon is kind of like a slam genre,
Like a party grind,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
party grind or party slam.
Party slam.
What
Yeah.
what specifically do you guys listen to? And what specifically can you not stand to listen to?
As in genres or bands or specific artists or anything?
I would say genres more
Okay.
or less.
We're all quite eclectic, to be honest. Usually find that when we are driving to gigs, it'll be a good blend of death metal, really bad that we can laugh at, power metal, Eurotrance,
Oh yeah.
fucking hardstyle.
I'd happily say I like Eurotrance and hardstyle as much as I like bro death metal.
Oh, for sure. Like Pat's on it. Pat's on the
Yeah.
got. He's got it. He's there. We all actually, Chris, myself, and Craig, the other guitarist, we all went to see Scooter in the UK, and it was
Scooter?
fucking incredible. Yeah, fucking incredible.
What the? I didn't even know he still fucking
Oh
toured.
my god.
Yep,
He's
DJ
going back
HP's
next year.
here. Tell you one better. The dude who recorded the Party Cannon album in Germany, Jorg,
Oh
is
my
friends with DJ HP.
He grew up with Scooter.
He grew up with
Oh
Scooter.
my god.
And you know what?
Fuck.
The only thing that would have made that story better is if I could have said, and I wish I could, that we managed to get DJ HP on a Party Cannon recording.
Oh my
just,
god.
just a big "Yeah" would be amazing. I'd be happy at that.
Yes.
That'd be it.
That's all I would need.
Yes.
Well, also that reminds me actually, Pat. You know Larry the Cable Guy, right?
Of
The
course.
country
I mean,
guy-
I
yeah,
want to kill him.
Country
but
guy. Yeah. Do you guys know Larry the Cable Guy? I don't know if he's very.
Cable guy.
Yeah, he's a
I
very
didn't-
pop. Yeah, he's a very popular country comedian. Very popular country
Oh,
comedian.
right.
I don't know about nowadays. But he actually lived 5 minutes from my grandparents' house.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
They actually knew him and they actually partied with him, like had a couple of drinks with him before he got famous.
It's cool as shit.
So I don't know. He actually grew up in Greenwich, New York.
That's pretty fucking weird.
For someone
Yeah.
who claims
Considering
to
the
be like
rest of
pretty
the
much
blue collar comedy tour.
Yeah,
he's a super
exactly.
country bumpkin, isn't he? He plays as if he's like a redneck.
No,
Yes.
he's a redneck. He's like, get her done. That's his fucking
Crazy laugh.
done. Yeah, and then you're supposed to laugh after he says that. But
Catchphrases are great, aren't they?
all right, so to continue with that, what music will you absolutely not listen to at all? Either in metal genre, you could be specific, either in metal genre or in any other genre.
Chris will not listen to Gent.
Yeah, I don't like gent. I don't like melodic death metal. I don't really like.
Anything.
Yeah.
I actually listen to Silence. That's it.
White
Yeah,
noise.
I don't really like. Dubstep. I can never get into it. But metal death and gent and like really wanky tech death has nothing but sweeps and no real songs. Not into that era.
Beyond Creation.
Uh,
That kind of thing.
I don't like groove metal. Whatever genre Fear Factory fall into, I fucking hate that. I absolutely cannot stand Meshuggah as well. I don't know so much Meshuggah in a band or the fan base that think they're like really intellectual for listening to polyrhythms. It's like I can count to 7 as well. It's okay. I understand. But it's like,
That's
Oh,
like
God.
us and fucking Juggalos, Pat. That's like
Yeah.
us and fucking Juggalo or ICP. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Whoop,
Oh,
whoop,
man.
kill yourself.
I can't slate like anyone for music taste because I listen to objectively terrible like home recorded grindcore bands all the time. Like music is legitimately terrible. So I can't comment on anyone. Like literally like
Sometimes indecipherable.
yeah, like mincecore bands and stuff. I just have like a room mic and it's just
So-
like 2 beats the whole time. But, like,
So what's
yeah,
a band that you would like absolutely shout out right now, like, or even like an album of the year type of thing?
an album of the year or a band? Shout out a few bands. Waking Down for being cool, but they don't really need our shout out. They're already way better than us. Hate Diplomacy, Dawn's our band. They're touring the UK at the moment.
Mhm.
There's Aphonic and Castigated from Glasgow. They're doing really well. Kasha from Holland, great Gorgrind band.
Parasitic.
Parasitic Ejaculation from the US.
Repugnance from Malta.
Repugnance from Malta. Cumbeast from Finland.
Cum beast.
Cosmic
Cum-
Clay-
Oh,
Yo,
I
I saw
thought you
that.
said Cumbies. I thought you said Cumbies. I was like,
okay.
the fucking gas
Oh,
station
no,
down
no.
the block?
There's a
Cum
gas
Beast.
station, Cumberland Farms, but everybody calls it Cumbies.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
A Cumbeast, as in like beast.
I'm gonna take their logo and slap it over our gas station.
Sounds good.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah.
Reputation, they're all good friends from England.
Mhm.
Reputation, couple of places, kind of share members. Fuck, like see when people like name bands you like, you're always gonna miss someone out.
Twitch of the Death Nerve. I'm excited to
Yeah,
hear some
yeah,
of their stuff.
Big Tom's band, Scourger from Glasgow as well, great band.
Bloodthread.
Bloodthread, they had like a tech
Guys,
death
them
band.
face.
They're really good.
It's hard when you're put on the spot because there's so many
Oh,
bands
yeah.
that you interact with day to day, and
No,
you,
like,
not that you
I
forget,
know,
but you're so immersed.
if anyone's
Yeah, I
made
hear
it
you,
to
man.
3 hours of this podcast and I've missed your band out, I'm really sorry.
Come and kick us in the balls.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I
you
know
know what?
bands.
Just drop all of the hatred that you're feeling right now right into the comment section. We would love to read those comments.
And also, since he answered the bands that he or genres that he won't listen to, what would you not listen to, like at all?
I don't know, man. In fact, I have the answer. Black metal. I cannot get into black metal.
That
There's
okay? Hold up. I
what?
would say the same thing, but I
Until
found
about
a
a day
black
ago.
metal about a day ago by
Uh-huh.
the Hopeful Furnace. They're one of their guitarists. I was messaging them, and they had a story on Instagram. And what is the band called, Pat? I always fuck this band up.
Now, here's the thing.
It's-
I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right, but the way
Yeah.
that I read it is Karak Angran.
Oh, yeah.
Scarlet
I know
Gangrene,
what-
yeah,
I know
yep,
what you mean. Yeah, pretty good.
Those guys,
Yeah, of course,
especially
those guys are good.
No, they're not.
especially the band, especially
They're
their
nothing versus.
album. I think it's
Dancing
Feast
with the
and
Dead or
Laugh.
something.
Yeah, Dancing with the Dead or something like that.
Okay. I'll give it a
That
listen.
is one of the best albums of black metal I've ever heard.
The thing is, it's not like anything in particular about the black metal, the writing of the music that gets me. It's the production. The majority of it being like first wave
Yeah.
stuff, especially. It's just it is actually indecipherable noise. Like
I've always made a joke about black metal. Always made a joke about black metal. It's literally, if you want to be a black metal band, go in a cave, record off of a Nokia phone about 5 miles away from the fucking actual set, and that's black metal.
See the thing about black metal though is I actually like the production in it, not because I think it sounds good, as a kind of like artistic statement. I think it's pretty interesting because when black metal came out, it was all about being underground and getting away from like polished, overproduced like death metal.
Especially Scotland black metal, especially Scottish black metal.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just like they kind of did it on purpose to get away from that kind of thing. So it's like a kind of artistic statement rather than like trying to make music in a way.
Are you saying that you were on your way to kill Euronymous?
I'm not saying that. I was like 4 years old when it happened.
I know, right?
I might be thinking about it.
I wouldn't fuck with that 4-year-old.
But yeah, I would have to say.
I get kicked from the roof.
Me either. No.
There's the dead baby joke.
There it is.
Everyone gets one.
Everybody gets one. Everybody gets one. Fucking Family Guy Spider-Man. Everybody gets one.
But yeah, so in conclusion, doing stuff. Check out our Facebook and Instagram. Watch us on YouTube.
Absolutely. If there's anything you should check out by Party Cannon, it's their Instagram account because it's fucking lit.
Yeah,
I
update that quite a lot.
But then immediately go and check out everything they have on Spotify. Share it with your friends because you don't know what you're missing out on. These guys are fucking sick.
I only got Spotify like a month ago. Like I'm way behind the times because quite a lot of bands. I'm going back into this fucking territory. Quite a lot of bands are like have like one demo. There's only on YouTube and like fucking 36 feet quality.
Bandcamp. Bandcamp is where you find the majority of it.
I eventually went and got Spotify because it turns out a lot of bands I thought wouldn't be on Spotify kind of outprint stuff. Like I didn't think like Brodequin or Lurgy would be on Spotify, but it turned out it was. So I went and checked out the Party Cannon Spotify, and we have way more listens than I expected. We have 9,000 monthly listeners, and our most popular song has 241,000 plays. I was like, what the fuck? I have no idea.
Meanwhile, you're probably making 60 cents for that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I have made 0 cents from that. I think our label gets a cut of that, but I think Carl's has made about 50p from our online sales. Gorehouse Productions, that's our label. Good guy, Carlos takes care of us.
Mm-hmm.
Is it weird to you that the most popular song on Spotify by you guys is Duct Tape to a Flagpole?
No, I think it makes sense because that's the first song in Part and Half, and a lot of people like Part and Half. So I guess when you listen to that, that's like the first thing.
It's also the most consistent in the live set. It's been in almost, if not every single live set we've done in 6 years.
That's a bit weird to think a song I wrote when I was 19, which was nearly 10 years ago, has been listened to over 241,000 times. That is a bit strange, but that's cool. I mean, surely that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But...
Hey, any success is still success.
Facts. Any success is still something.
Yeah.
So, normally what we do is we ask our interviewees who they'd like to thank before we end the recording.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for taking 3 hours out of your day.
Yeah.
Because it's like the middle of the day there for you guys to talk to us. It's like...
well, no, it's not. It's 6:13 p.m. My bedtime is fucking 8 o'clock, so we gotta wrap this shit.
It's fucking 11:15 at night here, man.
Yeah.
Drive an hour home.
Yeah.
Who else to thank also thank our bandmates, Stoney, Craig, and Martin.
No, don't thank them.
They're
terrible men.
Oh, fuck those guys.
They're pieces of shit. Don't even
They're
think.
bad people.
Obviously, thank Carlos and it's anybody who's ever like listened to Party Cannon, come to a gig. Everybody who's got a Party Cannon tattoo. There's quite a few people out there who've got a logo tattooed.
Insane.
Yeah, fucking anyone who follows us on Instagram, anyone who interacts with us, gives us the time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's ever like given us a place to sleep on tour. Anyone who's ever come and take a picture, or anyone just
I think pretty much everyone we've ever interacted with there has been something positive about it, and it's great.
Even if you don't like the band, and you checked us out, thank you for checking us out.
Aye.
We're from a very small place in Scotland that doesn't have any metal bands, and we play such a niche genre of music. So to get this kind of far, or to have like any kind of success, is like it's really good. I'm like quite happy with it. Like I kind of hope we'll make it to Europe like one time, and that'd be good. But now we fucking done more than that. Been to Asia, been to America, been to Malta, going to fucking Europe again.
Here's hoping Brexit doesn't fuck our
Oh,
plans.
true. Fucking, we played a headline gig in London in February this year, and like fucking over 100 people turned up. Like it was nearly sold out. I was like, what the fuck is happening? So thanking everybody who's just like giving us a chance to do that. So cheers, guys. And
Buy
thanks
the
to
fucking
everybody.
merch.
Yeah.
Buy
Thanks
the.
to-
I was just about to say that. Buy the fucking merch.
If there's anything to be said, it's buy the CDs, buy the shirts, support the band. Because these bands wouldn't be able to keep going if it wasn't for
Yeah, that's
any
right.
amount of monetary support.
As I
need a
make-
third golden
yeah.
toilet.
Like our tour
As
bus
I
is
make-
already, we need
yeah.
a new one.
Exactly. As I may quote Mitch Lucker, rest in
Oh,
peace,
fuck.
Mitch Lucker from Suicide Silence. Without the fans, we wouldn't be shit.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's
man.
literally that.
Fucking guys working in an office and making noise at evenings. I'm sure it's really hard.
It's always interesting when you tell people you play in a band and they go, "Oh, what kind of music?" And then you tell them, they go, "Oh, is it quite heavy?" It's like, I just told you it's brutal death metal.
Yeah.
What about that doesn't give you the impression it's probably going to be quite noisy?
I've
Oh,
stopped
dude.
like filtering what I've said.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
had so many people like say to me like an old job, like, "Oh, what kind of music do you play?" Like, "Oh, I know, just kind of like heavy rock and stuff, you know, that kind of thing." It's like, "Oh, like Slipknot." I was like, "Imagine
No.
Slipknot on fire and like, like maybe like."
Imagine Slipknot on bath salts and more heavy.
What I used to do was I used to tell people I was in a smooth jazz band. And so I would be like, yeah, our band name is Dead on Sight. Listen, I understand Dead on Sight might sound edgy to you, but it's a smooth jazz band. I promise you, we're all right. First song. Yeah,
That's what we do.
there you
That's
go.
all you can ask for.
So I
Yeah.
started just telling people, it's like, so what kind of music was it? Like, oh, it's brutal death metal with slam riffs, and it's kind of mixed with kind of like mid-90s gore grind, you know, kind of like Impetigo, like Carcass, kind of that kind of idea, you know.
And they're like,
And you just
okay.
like
see the
Vendale in there, you know.
fusion.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
cool.
So like Linkin Park, exactly like Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go on,
exactly like a point. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
If Linkin Park and Nickelback had a child,
Don't ever say
But
Nickelback.
they had Ivan Moody as a vocalist.
Man, we
Ivan
turned up
Moody.
hell yeah, brother.
to the airport in
Yeah.
Davao in the Philippines, and the airport was playing Linkin Park really loudly.
Oh fuck.
I was really, it was really weird. We turned out, I was like, I hear music. It's weird for an airport to play music in the first place.
Yeah.
I found it just blasting Linkin Park at like 2 a.m. Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is happening right now? I was like,
Did you not say one of the guys say Five Finger Death Punch bought merch for us?
the bass player from Five Finger Death Punch bought a shirt from us ages ago, and he sent me an email about it. It's like, hey man, I'm playing Five Finger Death Punch. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. Here's your shirt. Like, do you want a fucking medal or something? It's like,
I mean, they're very. I mean, as much as like we shit talk them on this
We do.
podcast, but that's a pretty big, like accomplishment. Honestly,
oh,
it's
no,
a
yeah,
very
totally,
big accomplishment.
I'm just like talking shit, but it's cool.
As long as every metal artist out there do not make a fucking soldier memorial thing, because that's when you kill the fucking band. Like, that's unfortunate, but that's what it does. It just kills the fucking band.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
gonna say
I
now
guess,
do a
like,
cover of Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. Just don't do that and you're fine.
That too.
yeah, I think some
Oh, and
bands
he's
just
fucking
stay away.
getting down to it. I love it. You said Billie Eilish? You said Billie Eilish? That brings me to a question. I'm sorry. Why do I
Yeah.
hear so many snorts in the fucking music?
Because-
it amazes me. It just
There
throws
is-
me off.
There's so many different genres and bands that we like to, I want to say nod and give appreciation to, but what I actually mean is plagiarise
Yeah.
and steal
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
I think it's one of those things that Stoney's an unusual vocalist in the sense that although he fits the genre, he likes to do his own thing. We're not writing about women being dismembered and left for dead, left in bits somewhere or whatever. It's like
Facts.
this. It's just I think Tony just likes to do his own thing. So even though like he write the lyrics about whatever he wants it may be, and he'll have them being as fucking out there and as avant-garde as he wants. So I think his vocal styles and patterns and the noises he makes kind of match that with him. It's like
Yeah.
There's not a lot of death metal bands out there that are doing almost Danny Filth style highs and then pig snorts in the next breath. And well, fuck, I love his sound. I think some of the stuff he does is incredible.
When me and Stuart grew up, like we were really into like Gore Grind and like Carcass stuff. Like he was really into like Carcass and Exhumed and like Hemdale and those kind of bands and like Robbie Prop and stuff, which is all kind of like pitch shifted and snorty type vocals and stuff. So I think you just kind of taking influence from that. Then like brutal death metal as well, like ultra gutturals and like high vocals. So it's just kind of a mishmash of everything.
I think the only vocal style we don't have in the music is crickets.
That's a good point.
Crickets.
And that's like so hard to do.
Oh man, it's like you have to be clay to do that.
You do. You do. Cemetery Rapist is the only person that does proper crickets.
I feel like that's a strictly inhale technique.
Yeah.
That must
Yeah,
be.
no, that is definitely inhale. That's definitely inhale.
That's a
I mean, you
strictly
can do-
exhale, but
I mean, you can do breeze inhale. I mean, they sound kind of the same, but you can tell if they're inhales or exhales.
Yeah.
with that said, I mean, I do think that like the whole inhale versus exhale argument is kind of a fucked argument as long as it sounds good and you're not trashing your voice.
Yeah.
At the end of the
Exactly.
day, who fucking
Like-
cares? But
Jono from Parasitic Ejaculation, he's like one of my favorite vocalists ever, and at least like 65% of his vocals are all inhales, and it sounds fucking amazing. When I was like younger, I always felt like the inhale exhale things like, oh, if it's inhale, it's like cheating. But I don't know why. I don't know why I ever thought that. But loads of people think that. I don't get it. Like you're making a monster sound at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter how you do it.
I do
As long as it sounds
think
like-
that there is a distinct difference in difficulty as far as being able to achieve that sound exhale versus inhale.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, on record, half the time I guarantee you, most people don't notice the difference.
If that was the argument, you'd probably say that inhales are probably harder because you risk collapsing your lungs and shit. Like,
Oh yeah,
that stuff is
especially
not
in
comfortable.
different screams. Different screams, especially when you do the pig squeals, like it's easier to do inhales. In my opinion, I can do inhales for breeze, like pig squeals. But other than that, I can't do any scream ever inhaling except for the pig squeals. That's the only thing I can do inhale.
The name Danny Filth was dropped earlier, and I've always wondered if his highs, like that iconic high screech that he does, I've always wondered if that was an inhale scream or not.
Nah, that'll be exhale.
I think that's all full on, like
Yeah.
him being 4 foot tall and all the air escaping his lungs at 1 minute.
Yeah. No, like
I also wondered if he played, if he did those vocals on the first or not the first Pokemon movie, but whichever one had the legendary birds on it. I don't
that
know.
was the second one, I think.
Yeah.
Usually, if
But
there's
I've
a
always
weird
wondered
noise,
if that was him or not because it sounds
it's-
just like him.
yeah, usually if there's a weird noise in a cartoon, it's usually Frank Welker to get to do it, the guy that played Megatron in Transformers.
Or,
What?
who seems to have come up quite a bit, Mike Patton. Mike Patton does sound effects for stuff.
He does now.
He
Right?
done the
yeah.
sound effects for all of the Left 4 Dead,
Yeah.
zombies and infected.
I think that's a recent
fucking
thing though.
love
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead. That was
Yeah.
one of my favorite games when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah, I think that was like a recent thing he started doing. I think like back in like the 90s, it was mostly like Frank Welker. And
Yeah,
stuff.
it
Yeah.
probably is just a more recent thing, to be honest.
Yeah, like
Mike
I think
Patton's a strange man.
he's a good man.
He's a good man.
do like him.
He's a bad man, but he wants to be good in his heart.
Society's holding him down.
Like every villain in every story. I'm the good guy in my story. No, you're killing people.
Just going back to Peep Show, the guys that wrote it had another show. It was like a sketch show, and there's one where it's them as Nazis, and they're like, "Are we the baddies?" Like, questioning all the shit they did. It's fucking
Like,
brilliant.
yes, you
So
are.
good.
Yes, you
Yes.
are.
That Michelin Web, like it's called.
Oh,
We're giving
man.
away all our sources for all our
Yeah.
quotes. We need to stop.
Oh,
Oh
that was
my
off.
god.
Right, that's enough. That's enough.
Oh man.
That sample we've got in Soft Like Gelatinous Body on our last EP, it like stops and there's loads of like English people chanting the word slam and banging on tables. That's from Peep Show. Like I remember just watching it and that started happening and I nearly had a brain hemorrhage. Like that is perfect. I have to use it.
And what happens
You
in
know-
the scene is they're telling a guy to slam a shot, like a shot on a stag do, and he smashes it all over the table and shards his hands to bits.
And everyone's just like slam, 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 slam,
Oh.
slam, slam.
Which is why there's a
Yeah.
I
glass
just remember
smashing
the
sound
first
at the
time I
end.
heard it, I was like, wait, Where the fuck did they pull this from?
Yeah.
Peep Show.
Some people like asked, is that you guys chanting slam? It's like those are like English accents. It's like,
The other thing is that like it's so like off timing from like whatever like the next beat was.
yeah.
It's like there's no way if they were gonna plan that, they would have said, okay, we're gonna do it, but this is the metronome click track that we're gonna do it to.
Oh yeah. It's like that
Yeah.
makes sense. But no, it's like I was watching Peep Show. That happened. That my brain put 2 and 2 together and went, I can put that in a song.
Yeah.
I could record that. I could rip that, and I could be in my music.
That
This
was
is a good idea. It's like it's made
Better
for
than
me.
half of the SpongeBob jokes that wind up turning into memes later.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I say that as a shot at myself, but but yeah.
There's nothing
man.
wrong with taking inspiration from your childhood and stuff that you were into, but I think it's healthy to know when you're like, I think I've had enough of doing this
Absolutely.
myself.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, I think I've officially overused this joke.
And I'm officially old. Like,
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Shit.
Been there, done that.
I'm turning 29 in like 2 weeks. So I'm like fucking.
well,
like,
happy
officially
early
old now.
birthday from the New Music Podcast. Happy early
Wait,
birthday.
no, I'm not turning 29. I'm turning 28.
Why are you jumping ahead here?
Yeah, I don't know,
crazy
like-
bastard. I was thinking that like
Yeah.
there is definitely not a year and a half between us.
I'm 27 right now.
When do you
Fucking
turn
hell.
28?
In like 2 weeks.
My birthday's December 9th.
December 9th. Oh, my birthday's November 18th.
Fuck.
Well, that's exactly 9 months after Valentine's. Oh, near enough 9 months after Valentine's Day as well. Think about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God, man.
I do really want to thank you guys so much for your time.
Yes,
This has been an
thank you so
absolute
much.
treat. I never
Yeah,
would
it's
have imagined
been
that we
fun.
would have made it to
Been
over
fun.
3 hours
Yeah.
of podcasting.
It's been questionable at points, but it's been fun.
As should every fucking episode of the New
Exactly.
Music Podcast.
This is art, and
Um,
art should be pushing the boundaries.
Exactly.
Fuck yes.
Good, man. Just
Our
load
first
fucking
ever British guests, specifically Scottish.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
you're my friend.
Sure.
Love you.
Yes, we love you guys.
Man, Pat, good man.
Oh man.
Well,
Anything else
thanks,
before we
Wrestling
go?
Doors. I don't know. Drink driving is bad. Homophobia
Yes.
is bad. Racism is bad.
These are all
Slams are
things
good.
that we
Yeah,
clarified
slams are
today.
good.
Yeah.
Don't
That hell is
do-
good.
Don't snort cocaine and beat your significant other. There's another one.
Yeah, there was that. Don't boot a kid in the mosh pit. That's probably not a good idea.
Don't bring a
Kill
kid
your
on
local
board.
heroin
yeah,
dealer.
yeah.
Kill your local heroin dealer.
Mhm.
Yep.
If your friend has an addiction, support him and make sure he gets the right help he needs.
Spraying you and your cat.
That's the facts.
Treat
Yeah,
them like. Yep.
Mother, there is no other. So mother, treat her right.
It's
Mr.
true.
T said that.
I hate my
That's-
mom.
Just out of nowhere. I actually hate my mother.
I watched this, like I was off work sick today, and I was watching a bunch of random videos, and one came up was Killswitch Engage reacts to covers of their music, and there's one video of this guy being like, "This song's called Rose of Sharon, and this means a lot to me because my mom's called Sharon." Then there's like a bit of a pause, and look really sad, and like, I fucking hate her. here we go. It's like, what the fuck?
That's amazing.
That was literally me. That was me. I made that video.
Yeah, I was like doing vocals in it, so it could have been you, man. I was like, I thought I recognized you.
Oh, famous YouTuber on its way.
Oh, my
Oh
fucking
man. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks.
Again,
Guys,
if you
thanks for having
haven't
fun.
checked out Party Cannon, these guys are fucking lit. Hopefully they'll be in upstate New York sometime soon, but they
Hopefully, man.
will be coming back to the States very soon. You said early 2020?
Like July, August, that kind
July
of
or
era.
August?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay. Perfect.
end of July, start of August.
There you go, man.
It'll be
All
good.
right, guys. They're bringing the Party Cannon to you. So, again, thanks for listening, and bye-bye.
See you later, man.
Yeah.
Bye.